Hi, and welcome to Truly the Female Perspective, episode number 12. Shiro's just popping in.
Hi, guys.
I thought you were going to be an hour later. What happened?
Well, I thought this wasn't starting for an hour, so I was only supposed to be 15 minutes late. And then Larry Ego saw the message and was like, you're starting right now. And I was like, no.
It's very confusing. I apologize. The time difference and how I don't change time, but everybody around me does. Mm-hmm. It just messes everything up. And I do apologize. And we only do this once a month and we missed last month. So apparently I need a new lesson in time zones. But we're here. We all made it. Mm-hmm. We all made it. So ladies, let's go around the table. What have we been up to? Vex, tell us. What have you been up to in your life? Over the holidays, anything exciting?
My husband was up for a week. He just left today. I dropped him at the airport 5 hours ago. But we did New Year's at a rave. That was interesting because he's never been to a rave and I was on something. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So that was an interesting experience. And then we went up to like a spa resort for the last 2 days.
Oh,
that was really nice. And that's it. Yeah, I've just been relaxing. That's all. And my blood pressure is like down here. That's all. How about you guys?
Shiro, what's up with you? How was your holiday?
Holiday was good. We've been kind of doing the same, just relaxing, not trying not to go anywhere, do anything, because this past year has been so hectic. And yeah, we just really chilled. I think on New Year's as soon as it hit midnight, we went to bed. So that's it.
There is nothing wrong with that. That's how I usually roll. Actually, that's not true. Usually I have to dose my dog up with heavy, heavy CBD oil, and then I sit with her in the bathroom. This last New Year's Eve, listen, if you want to know what war sounds like, just stick your head outside on New Year's Eve. It was boom, 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 boom. I mean, it was excessive, and it went on and on and on and on and on. And so, and then they started again at 3:00 in the morning, my time. I was like, the dog woke up, and I was like, there's no way. And my daughter's like, yeah, they were kicking off fireworks again at 3 a.m. Usually Cannoli and I stay home because we're old fuddy-duddies, but we were invited out to a fancy restaurant.
Ooh.
Brazilian steakhouse, I hear.
A Brazilian steakhouse, yes. And they knew I was coming because they had a big old container of hot wine, which was like a hot sangria. However, the cups were probably, I don't even have anything this big.
Okay.
So it's like
no, it was meant to be sipped. They were free samples to keep you in line. Samples. So your girl had probably 25 little cups because our reservation was at 6:15, and then I don't think we got sat to almost 7. I know it was really busy. But I'm
stuck on the 25 cups of alcohol thing. That's
it probably wasn't 25. It was probably more like
30.
I probably filled it 10 times, but it legitimately was like those little cups that you wash your mouth. No, that's actually even too big. The little Dixie cups that you had when you were a kid where you could rinse your mouth out next to the sink.
I gotcha.
They were half that size. They were like half that size. So yeah, it was nice. And then, as a pescatarian, which is a vegetarian who eats fish, going to a Brazilian steakhouse was a little interesting, but I had an amazing salmon dish. And then you get this like huge eccentric salad bar. It's not like Sizzlers. It's like, eccentric.
It's so proper. Yeah.
Nice. So it was fun. It was fun. We did the same. I mean, we didn't relax as much. Cannoli took time off of YouTube. I decided to torture myself with a movie review, which we all know I don't do very often. So when I do them, they can be challenging, and I still streamed except for Christmas Day. So, I'm still trying to stay up on the YouTube game, but it was nice having the time off from work so you could devote, stuff.
I gotcha.
devote your time to Vex did a nice movie review too and got it right up the pooper. Wait, did they ever take that one down that you had the watermark over? Is that one still up?
No, that one's still up, but the original video, which was actually hitting the algorithm pretty hard before it got taken down. No dice there. And with YouTube, whenever you have to re-upload something, it automatically is just dead on arrival. So
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
yeah, it is what it is. But WB is getting theirs, considering that they can't manage their company well. So
Well, they did the same thing to me with Wonka when I loaded it into the system. I did get a copyright strike for 1 minute of content. However, it was very strange because it was repetitive content that I had used in other places in my review, but at least they told me which part of the review I had to fix before I could move on. With you, they just shit all over it and said, forget it. So that was rude.
Yeah. I couldn't even appeal it. It was just a automatic strike on my channel. And there was no, there was just an email that I could go to, but it wasn't like a dispute thing that I could do. So it's just automatically. Yeah,
they're not very lenient with that. Case in point with the stream that I did, and 5 minutes of it was what my whole stream got taken down for. And I said, can I just remove that 5 minutes? They're like, no, sorry, the whole stream sucks. The whole thing is down. So they said
that in the email too. Your whole stream sucks.
Yep.
Sorry.
Your whole stream sucks, lady. Suck it. You can't remove it. So yeah, it was freaking YouTube. All right, we'll say hi to the chat. And then so Fear the Beardo is running late or he's not coming. I don't know. Listen, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. He did say he was running late. So Jacob, good to see you. The oldest gamer. I don't think you've checked in here. Is that Keanu Reeves?
It is Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
You're welcome here anytime. Anytime. Let's see. Logical Spock, good to see you. Squeaka finally came. Congratulations. Congratulations. Shield Maiden, my good friend. Shield Maiden is getting me my watch hours. She's a doll face. She reached out to me after I hit my milestone of 500 subscribers. I know it's small, but for me, anyway. So she has been watching my streams for me. She watched all my streams the first time, and now she's rewatching them. So I'm watching my watch hours, get there. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Beard, good to see you. Thank you. I know we are all sexy, aren't we? Jamalama, good to see you. There's Dempsey. Yeah, Brazilian steakhouses are cool, especially if you eat meat. There was just the way that they walk around. They walk around and they just cut the meat off. It's excessive too. And you can and had I eaten meat, the package with one of them, you have open bar for 2 hours. Mama could have gotten real fucked up. But
wow.
That wasn't.
I've never had that option. I need to go to that place.
I know. I don't understand how they get away with that. But yeah, they did that. Yes, hot sangria was actually really yummy because I do no, it wasn't Buca de Pepo. I've been there before. I didn't want to share my food, so we went to a different restaurant. Have you guys been to Buca de Pep?
I assume because Nos put that in the chat that it was from some dirty film or something, but that's an actual restaurant.
It's actually a restaurant, an Italian restaurant where it's family style. So you really you order a big plate of chicken parmesan, eggplant parmesan, a big thing of spaghetti, and you guys just all share it. You just put it all in the middle of the table and you just share it. So it really does exist. Yeah. Nice. Ingrid Canadian, good to see you. All right. I don't want to skip anybody, but I appreciate everybody who's been here. You are been running your streams all year. I know we're fresh 5 days in. I appreciate you. I know. I was like, I should send her some merch when it's up and running, but she's in another country. Dude, trying to wire Vex Electronica money in another country today.
For her GoFundMe.
Yeah. So first of all, let's just talk about this real quick because you know what? We're back from vacation. We have topics, but let's just chat. Okay. So we raised money for Vex, and thank you everybody who helped fund Vex Get the Fuck Out of Canada fund. So we raised this money, and I make Vex the beneficiary. I was like, I'm sending it all to you. You need to approve the funds transfer. Here's all. She goes, okay, sounds good. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, they won't let me. Fucking Canada. So she's like, can you wire transfer? I'm like, this isn't the movies. I don't know how to wire transfer money.
Call the bank.
I'm like, I don't know. I just fucking send. I go, can I PayPal you? Venmo, Zelle? Can I just send it through a Cash App? So I went to the bank today and I'm reading Vex's address. And I'm like, there's no fucking zip code.
Oh, no.
We have postal codes in Canada. There
They
you go.
They do. They have postal codes. So I have my phone up to the screen and I'm showing. I'm going. Can you? Does this look right? Is that an O or a 0? This poor lady had to do it 3 times because after the second time, it froze on her and we had to do everything again. And trying to get, Vex Electronica is not her real name. So spelling her real name, making sure it's right, and her address. Anyway, the funds are on their way. It should be there Monday. But wire transferring to Canada is quite interesting. So next time I wire Vex money, she'll have to be in the United States.
Hopefully, I mean, by that time, then you can literally you can Venmo me the money.
Then I can Venmo, or
There you
PayPal.
go.
But it was interesting today. I just walk in and go, hi, I need to do a wire transfer, and I've never done it before. And she looked at me and she's like, oh, okay, how old are you, lady? You've never wired money before? No.
So, serious question though, if this fine remains or you don't fight it, will it hinder you getting your visa or whatever it is to the US?
I have no idea because they've already done like a background check and all of that stuff on me. But like even then, it's like this is like it's a non-criminal charge technically. Like it's just a fine, but I'm not gonna pay that fine because it's not just no. So I don't.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna happen. Hi, Beardo.
Hi, my dear. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. We were just actually chit-chatting about our holidays and what we've been doing and how I had to do my first wire transfer of funds to Canada.
I was listening a little bit.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
So Black Lives are Black Lives are, God, these names. Black Lives are Black Knives. Good to see you. I was just trying to run through the chat. Yes, it is Beardo. Beardo is here.
Salud.
And we were talking about how Cannoli and I went to a Brazilian steakhouse for New Year's Eve, but I don't eat meat.
How was that?
I had the salmon.
Okay, hey.
In Arizona too, of all
you
places,
made it work.
you had
You made it
salmon.
work.
I know. I mean, it was $39.99, so those assholes better have gone out and caught it themselves and brought it back, knowing that I was going to be there. So I'm just saying. Hey, Alec Baldwin's finger, good to see you. I don't think I've seen you here. I need you to help me wire money to a Nigerian prince. You got it. DM me. I know exactly what I'm doing now. Oh my God, you guys. You're a big fan of Brazilian G-strings. Okay. So we have sassy people in the chat. Oh, real quick. I wanted to show you guys something and then we'll figure out where we want to get started. But this is kind of embarrassing, but I was celebrating like how I was going to approach 2024 and somebody got it on camera. It's really embarrassing. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I know. Listen, sometimes this stuff happens and God, you would think I do streams all the time. I would know how to share a screen by now. Here you go. So this is me going into 2024 with an attitude and the same foul mouth and delightful bitch I've always been. So here you go. Hold on one second. Let's make sure. If I get dinged for the music. There you go. That's me.
Yeah, just compared to your new Sasquatch avatar, it's uncanny almost. My goodness.
I mean, this Sasquatch is looking mighty thin. Like I've got think my avatar thing has more curves, which by the way, the two designs that I chose. I had to redo a design because the sunflowers were being cut off. So I made it. So if you're a female, the design will accentuate your bust area because it's going to go this way instead of this way. And then there is going to be one where it's no sunflowers in case the dudes don't want to look, too feminine. It'll just be me with my hairy boobs on a shirt.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. How do I sell merch to men?
That way.
Just say there are boobs under there. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Right.
How was your holiday, by the way, Beardo?
Yes,
How was your
please
Christmas
tell
and New
us.
Year?
My holiday, well, all of my family's in California, and I'm here out in Orlando, Florida. So this was like the first holiday I ever had in my entire life where I wasn't with my parents. So I just spent it here, streaming, hanging out with the chat, playing video games, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
Drank some cervezas. That was about
Actually, yeah, I went to Sonic today because I was craving a diet cherry limeade, and now this is diet cherry 7-Up and vodka.
Hell yeah.
You have to refill your beverages. What's that face, Vex? Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. And two, what size is that drink, out of curiosity?
Oh, it's a Route 44. I mean, go big or go home.
Well, so Sharpie had Tim Hortons for the first time of his life up here, and he ordered a medium. And for me, I'm like, a medium's fine. But a medium here is like a small, like an extra small or a small for you guys. So he was like, what the fuck is this sizing? And then I showed him a large, and he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's 16 ounces. That's a large here. But you guys have 24 ounces is a large, I think.
Well, that's why we have this. That's why in New York they wanted to ban. Oh, stop.
I didn't want to say it.
They wanted to ban. I'm not drunk yet. I'm just retarded.
Both work.
They wanted to ban large drinks in New York, right? Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Aren't you
something like that?
Well, I mean,
did they ban soda? They didn't ban soda, but they definitely put a tax on sugar drinks, and I think they did want to ban the large option.
I mean, if you go to a fast food place, I rarely go to fast food, but I do go to Taco Bell every now and then. And if I get a soft drink, it's always a medium because the medium is large. The medium is a large. But the thing with the large where they get you, it's like, oh, but you get a free refill. But if you're going through the drive-through,
yeah,
I mean, there's no point. Just get a medium because, you're not getting a refill or anything.
Who even eats in fast food restaurants anymore? Who doesn't? I mean,
high schoolers.
High schoolers. Yep. And drunk
high
people.
Schoolers. Yeah. Well, both at the same time. Drunk high schoolers.
That is true.
Yeah.
24 ounces is not large. 64 ounces. Yeah, but you have to figure what you can get at, I don't know, what do you call them? Convenience stores, gas stations. We have
big gulps.
Big gulps. Yeah, but big gulps are not. What are they? 40 ounces? I don't know. This is the largest I get, which is 44 ounces. And like I said, I do a diet cherry limeade, so it's diet Sprite and sugar-free cherry shit. I don't know. I get them every once in a while, and then sometimes when I'm feeling really sassy, I get one on the way home from work, come right home and pour the vodka in it, and then I'm fucking 7 sheets to the wind by bedtime.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes you've had that rough work day, and you just want to, you want to tap out. I used to drink a 64-ounce Coke every. Oh, geez. Diabetes much?
The only carbonated drinks I do, I'm addicted to these Ghost pre-workouts. So this is like a pre-workout type deal. It's not an energy drink because it's, I don't know. There's no added food coloring. It's got carnitine and creatine and shit in here. But it's 300 milligrams of caffeine. So I do these. These just keep me going, and then beers. That's it. I don't do soda.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Soda is my like my downfall. I do like I try not to drink like fully sugar. Like I'll do a Coke Zero, I'll do a Sprite Zero so I can drink my booze with it. But I have hold please. I'll get you. Hold on right here.
I'm still trying to process that people go and get 64-ounce drinks and it's not water.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Still processing that.
I do these energy drinks. They're plant-based. I get them at Costco.
Your
They're-
bay.
Yes, they're actually located out here in Arizona. Now, this is only 160 milligrams of caffeine, but it's all plant-based and there's nothing icky or, I don't know, there's like white tea and, there's stevia in it. That's where they get the, anyway.
Is that like a pun on words? Your bay, like your bay.
Maybe.
Your bay.
Uh-huh. I think
your
so.
Bay. Hey,
Your
your
bay.
bay. Your bay.
Hey.
Your bay. I think that's
But
a
you
pun
know
on
what
words there.
I did have a this is so weird, but I had a oh, by the way, if Yeti's listening, we're going to use cringe in mid whole episode, so fuck right off.
You can
Oh,
also
you can't see.
Oh,
It's
what
there.
is that?
It's there.
There's no label.
No, it's there. It's the lighting. It's like you can see it right there a little bit. It's Yeti. Here we go. Boom.
Oh, you have a Yeti. I was talking about this guy that we podcasted with last night. His name is Yeti.
His name is Yeti.
His name is Yeti.
Oh.
And he said that Vex was on a stream one night and everybody in their mid 40s, not Vex, was using cringe and mid continuously, and it just irritated the shit out of him. He said people of a certain age should not be utilizing those two words in their vocabulary. Discuss.
I mean, to be fair,
Yes.
Yef is also pretty autistic, and his version of good movies is the Austin Powers trilogy, which, while enjoyable, if that's in your top 5, I'm a little bit concerned about who you are as an individual. So,
Well,
and he also doesn't shower, so don't take anything he
Ew.
says.
yes, he does. He takes cold plunges twice a day and counts
Wait.
it.
That
No
that
soap.
ain't a shower.
Yeah,
That's like
There-
hopping in the jacuzzi and said I took a bath.
there you go. No soap at all. This dude he raw dogs it through life. It's disgusting.
He's a hippie that lives in the mountains in Colorado, and he podcasts from a closet to not wake his children up. There's a lot of questions that we have. And last night's episode of the Yeti F 8750 had Cannoli and Yef, who are both autistic, and I was the only sane one, and that's not saying a lot. So wait till that gets released. It was a bunch of autism. We actually named a band called the Autistics, coming to you live on tour.
Are they an acoustic only band as well?
They are, and Yeti's gonna sing, and Cannoli's gonna play a. I wanted him to play a tarp. He used to wear a tarp when he was 400 pounds. All right, I'll be here all week.
Jeez.
No, his boss used to tell him he needed to wear a tarp instead of a shirt because he was a large boy. It's a
Damn.
true story.
This is
If he was
cannoli?
in the- Yeah, Cannoli used to be 400 pounds and tried to die on me about 3 years ago. This day, he was in the hospital trying to die on me. And that's why he's on keto, and he lost about 150 or more pounds because,
Yeah, shout out. He doesn't look 400 pounds.
no, he was 400.
Mhm.
And now I don't know where he's at, but he's nowhere near that. He lost a shit ton of weight.
Hell yeah. He looks good.
Yeah, he's trying. He could do better. He won't work out anymore. He won't work out anymore. And then anyway, it's a long story.
So I
So-
have to tell you, I have discovered this place called Hot Works, and I sit in the sauna, I do the yoga or whatever they put on the TV for like 30 to 45 minutes, and it's easy on my bones, and I'm sweating, and then I'm done. Like, I'm enjoying it because it's not stressful.
I don't want to get
24-hour infrared fitness studio. Interesting.
I don't want to get too off topic, Sassy.
No, go
I
ahead.
mean,
You can.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what
it
we're
might be
here
a little
for.
personal. What was he almost dying on you of? Like, what
Okay,
was the
so-
what was the issue?
Yeah, no, it's not too personal because I've talked about it before. So Cannoli was diagnosed a few years ago with diverticulitis. He had this weird flare up in his stomach. He didn't know what was going on. And I don't remember exactly how he was diagnosed. I don't know if they ran a blood test. I don't remember, but he was diagnosed. Let's see, it was 3 years ago that he got sick. So maybe 3 years, so about 6 years ago. So he tried to change his diet, meaning like not a whole lot of red meat, but pizza, Chinese food, all the fun things that don't have red meat, he still wanted to eat. And we're Italian. My love language is cooking. So a lot of pastas, a lot of lasagna, a lot of carbs. I was about 40 pounds heavier than I am now as well, because, eating is fun. Eating is delicious. And
Hell
we
yeah.
didn't work out. Plus, in all fairness, I was going through a lot of stuff with my daughter's mental health, and I emotionally eat. Not that it's an excuse, but that's where I was at. So he got another attack about a year later, and he passed out on me in the bathroom, and I picked up his 400-pound ass. I don't know how I did that, but I took him to the doctor.
No,
and
that
they
happens.
treated- Yeah, it was
that happens.
weird.
When I was younger, we had a family friend. I was living in Pennsylvania. My whole family, we were living in Pennsylvania, and our family friend. This happened a few years before we got there, but anyway, she wound up telling this story to my mom.
Yeah.
She got in a car accident with her 2-year-old son, and the door was fucking pinned against a tree, and he was in the back seat, and the other door was smashed, T-bone smashed, not opening, and the other door was pinned against a tree. She fucking picked up the car and moved it to get the kid out. Superhuman God mode strength, just insane. So
It's amazing.
that shit can happen. I believe it.
It's very amazing. I could see myself doing that too. If your kid is trapped, even absolutely. And I don't know where I got all that strength from, but I did pick him up, and and then he got a little bit better about his diet, but he wasn't as, he's like, okay, well, he didn't really pay that much attention like he should. He doesn't drink soda. He's not a sugar eater. He just likes his food. So, 3 years ago, the week before Christmas, the day before Christmas Eve, he started feeling really icky. And he went to the hospital. You guys, it's so blurry. All I know is he went to the hospital twice. And before the end of the year, just in time for the health insurance deductible to reset. So I got to pay it's $11,000, but we'll just let them try to get that from me. That's another story. So the first time they and here's the thing too. It was when we were in the heights of COVID. So I couldn't go with him. So I try dropping your husband off at the emergency room and say, hope I see you later. Anyway, so he was in there. They tested him for COVID a few times. They tried to test him for tuberculosis, TB, all these weird things. And they said he had a flare-up of diverticulitis. And they gave him a bunch of IV antibiotics, and they sent him home after about 4 days in the hospital. Plus they had him on heart meds and stuff because his heart rate was up, probably because he's fighting an infection. So, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, not being there. I work in the medical field. So I had my doctors looking at some of his stuff, because there's a chart that you can, a patient chart that you could see online. So I was trying to look. And when he was released, he came home and he was not getting any better. And so I start looking at the medical records, and in the discharge file, not for us, but internally, not papers that I'm sent home with, it says he has a 10-centimeter liver mass that's non-emergent. Anytime I hear liver and mass, to me, I think it's emergent.
It's not good.
Yeah. So he's throwing up weird bile. He is running a temperature. He can't get his fever under control. Oh, that's another thing. They wouldn't let him leave the hospital till he got his fever under control. His fever was under control for 1 hour. So they kicked him out of the hospital because, COVID, they needed room. So oh, you're fine. Go ahead. So he comes home. He lasts a couple of days. I take him back to the hospital right before the end of the year. So I had my first New Year's Eve by myself 3 years ago. He was in the hospital again, all these things. His mass grew. It doubled in size over the course of him being at home. They had to drain his liver mass, and he had to be on all these antibiotics. I still couldn't go there. They sent him home with a liver drain and a PICC line, and I had to give him IV antibiotics 3 times a day for 6 weeks. and then I had to drain his liver drain. So it was basically diverticulitis that wasn't really treated correctly, and things went up into his lungs, and he had all this shit in his lungs because it spread because they just didn't take care of him properly. They misdiagnosed him and they sent him home with a liver mass that kept growing because there was liquid in there, and he kept throwing up this weird shit, and it was bile from his liver. Yeah.
What a savage.
Yeah.
What a dude. And he's here to tell the tale.
Yes, he's here to tell the tale. And that's when I decided that I had too much and I was going to try an edible for the first time in 40 years of my life. Took an edible and ended up on the bathroom floor without my shirt on because my skin was on fire, and I took a Xanax to try to counteract it. Yeah, good times. Good times. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not a doctor. I know a little bit of bro science. What if Cannoli just decided to just run a massive amount of steroids?
I don't know. We could try that. Why? What would that do?
No, I'm just kidding. No, but no, I mean, that was slightly satire. Slightly.
I know.
Only
I know.
slightly satire. But I don't know. I mean, Cannoli, maybe he should pump some testosterone and hit some push-ups and sit-ups and get the testosterone, get back into that regimen, the hormone testosterone replacement therapy, start, putting testosterone in his butt cheeks twice a week, and he's going to be in rock solid shape, if you know what I'm saying.
I do, however, there's a little something you don't realize about Cannoli, and I love him dearly, but he's the laziest fuck we've ever met. Vex, would you like to attest to that?
I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it.
I know.
It was a struggle to convince this dude, like, hey, dude, you sit in your house in front of a computer screen because he works from home. I'm like, dude, just go eat your lunch outside and get some vitamin D so you'll stop being such a prissy bitch.
There's my kid.
And then finally he did it. And we're just like, hey, so you've been going outside for a week now. I've noticed that you're not, swearing in the chat. Yeah, I feel a lot better. It's like, bruh.
No.
To convince him just to do that. But I think he started walking now, at least, right? Because of that.
Okay, so I will say this.
He did do the rowing machine when he first got sick. We had a rowing machine, and he was really good about doing that for a while, and then he just...
Let me ask, how old is Cannoli?
Cannoli's going to be, what are we, in 2024? Cannoli's going to be 45 in May.
45. Okay.
Yeah.
Has he ever had his testosterone levels checked?
Probably not. And I can tell you that mine's actually low. I need to work on mine, but I'm afraid because I'm already an angry Italian as it is. I don't need more tea.
No, definitely not. And there's the side effects for when women take testosterone.
I know.
When the test in the estrogen and the test is in the estrogen, side effects, it's...
We get beards.
Other things grow too.
Yeah.
Anyways, but for the men, no, honestly, if I've done my fair amount of research, blogging, YouTube videos with fitness and stuff like that, and 45, if he's never had his testosterone levels checked,
my daughter just reported that he is actually upstairs passed out, and it's only 6:40 p.m. here. He's asleep. Don't worry, we can talk shit. But he won't rewatch the stream, so.
Again, I'm not a doctor, but in all seriousness, I would say let's get his levels, find out what the baseline, what the levels are. And then there is this thing. Have you guys heard of TRT? Testosterone replacement therapy?
Yes.
And it's not for the fucking tranny weirdos. This is like for legit men. This is like for like men. And what happens is when men, and it happens younger than you think. It's around like 31, 33. Your testosterone is going up from birth to about 31, 31, and then it starts to flatline at around 32, 33, and then it starts to dip. And then that's when the testosterone and estrogen start like getting a little closer. That's when lethargy, you get lethargic and stuff like that, and you don't burn fat as often and stuff.
Like a lot moodier in the last year, I would say. So maybe he does need a little.
So
in the
a lot of and it's healthy. It's healthy. So when men get to about 35 to 40ish, they go on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. That's why when if you go to the gym, you'll see the jacked old dudes, 65-year-old dudes who are just shredded. It's because they're on TRT. And they're blasting testosterone, one, for their health, and they take advantage of it, and they go to the gym, and they build muscle. Also, they want to, you're 60, 65, and you still want to make sweet love to your wife. They're on testosterone.
What I'm trying to say is your hubby is a low T bitch.
No.
No.
Get the levels checked out. He might benefit from, blasting some testosterone into his butt cheek twice a week.
Well, I wouldn't mind giving him that shot in his ass twice a week if I had to. No, but for real, I do think so. I think too, people don't talk about it too, when you get to a certain age, and I start to feel that way too, because I'm a lady of a certain age. Oh, it's so gross. Anyway, I'm getting up there too, to where you just feel like getting up in the morning is a little bit harder, because it's just you don't have all the happy feelings anymore.
Yeah. All the hormones. Sorry to derail.
No.
Dr. Beardo stepped in a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting though, because I think that is what is helpful too. We do. Excuse me. Can we just give my daughter a moment for the comment? Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you, Jules. You'll get more money in your allowance this week.
How you doing?
Friday. No, I think, you know what? We all need to hear this kind of stuff too, because women do have certain levels that they need to check to, and we don't. And I actually found out real quick here. So having dinner with my friend who's a nurse, when we went out for New Year's Eve, we're going to talk about boobs, people, so don't get immature.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. So apparently, if you lack testosterone as a woman, you can't provide enough breast milk. Well, I could not breastfeed my own kid, and it really bothered me, because you feel like less than a woman. First of all, I had to have a C-section, so Gianna can relate to that. So we had a removing day, as they like to call it. You didn't give birth to a kid; your child was removed. That's a whole nother thing.
That's lame.
Oh no, for real.
You gave birth.
Yeah, well, a thing.
Gianna brought it to my attention actually before she had Cece. She said that somebody was saying, "Are you going to have a birthday for your child or a removing day?"
That's lame. I reject that.
Me too.
My mom had a C-section, and I turned out just fine.
See? Thank you. My daughter's all fucked up, but I don't think it's a C-section. Any hoodle. So not only Gianna said facts right there. Not only did I have my baby removed, so now I'm less than a woman, I could not breastfeed. And my friend was saying that she found out, it's called extraction day. Sorry, Copa and Jana. Yes, it's an extraction date. I apologize. Her extraction date's coming up in April. She was born, I think, while we were at the Vegas meetup.
I think April 28th is her birthday, or 27th.
Look at you. You're not.
I remember because I was the one that won the bet. That's why, because there was a pool, right?
Gotcha. So anyway, I found out the other day that low testosterone can also keep you from breastfeeding your baby. So I'm going to chalk that up to why I couldn't breastfeed either. But it's just interesting. You wouldn't think that having less testosterone as a woman could prevent you from providing see, that's the thing. Even though I identify as a female, apparently I need testosterone to be a mom.
High estrogen in men and women are both equally bad. Terrible.
Yeah.
And like, man. So I know you're, are you vegan or vegetarian?
I'm vegetarian, so I'm not vegan. I do cheese and all that
right?
stuff.
Because you eat fish.
Yes.
Do you do the Beyond soy-filled replacement foods?
Yeah, and that's not good.
Soy is not good. Soy is horrible. So there's this whole conspiracy theory that isn't necessarily a conspiracy theory because it's all been proven true. You remember like about 20 years ago when like soy milk was the next big thing? We're getting rid of cow milk. We're getting rid of all this. Soy milk is what's best. Well, The conspiracy theory is, and why we see a lot of fucking pussy-ass fucking dudes nowadays, is because they were all, when they were younger, consuming soy milk, and now they're these fucking bitch-ass beta fucking little little testicles, small wiener, fucking barely can grow a fucking beard dudes, because they were all doing the soy products when they were kids. Because
which is why we call them soy boys, right?
Correct.
So soy boy
Correct.
is a real term. I see.
Correct. So soy is horrible for not just men, but for women too, because high levels of estrogen in women is almost just as detrimental as it is for men. So I have a lot of friends who are vegan and vegetarian who I have just tried to, like, there's other options in soy. Soy is so fucking
All right,
bad
I'm going to
for
have to
you.
look into that because I have heard of that before, and I need to do it because it's not, I know it's bad for you. I know.
Well,
I know.
Your issue too is that you're on keto and you're vegetarian is the other thing. So like your protein sources are pretty
double whammy.
limited. Yeah.
I did eat boring. I did eat lentils last week after we talked about, I guess it's an Italian tradition to have lentils on New Year's Day because I was going over like traditions and stuff. I did not eat it until 2 days later, but lentils, although high in carbs, it still is high in protein. So I do still try. I do have to eat beans and stuff like that for protein, but it's very hard to be a vegetarian while trying to be keto because I'm all over. That's why probably I'm a hot mess. All right, this makes sense now, people.
Hop on the carnivore train.
Are you?
Yeah.
And how do you feel?
I feel great. So I've done it on and off for the past, like before the new year. Like I was trying it out. And I now I can clearly see the difference when I'm on it versus when I'm not. I'm definitely more like swollen and bloated and stuff like that when I'm not doing the carnivore.
I don't know.
What's the one meat food group that you are most open-minded to going back to? Pork, chicken, or beef?
Me?
What about fish though? Like there's a lot of lean white
or fish.
Yeah.
Well, she already eats
I would
fish.
definitely do. I would definitely do fish. I don't think that I could physically chew and swallow. Don't cut that out. I don't think I could chew and swallow any sort of meat anymore. I do need to eat more fish. It's just I'm lazy when it comes to cooking the fish.
All the mercury, though. You can't do fish
I know.
every day. Man.
I don't know. I mean,
it depends. To be fair, it depends on the type of fish she's eating. So if she's eating more freshwater fish, like the mercury levels are going to be a lot lower. Because you're in Arizona, freshwater fish is probably easier to get than like tilapia and salmon and tuna and all that stuff.
Well, they say my mother-in-law told me tilapia is like the ocean bottom feeder of the fishes, and tilapia is like not a good one to eat. Like if you're going to eat a white fish, that you should probably eat something more like just a regular cod. But I don't know. I struggle a lot. Maybe I should get my shit together in 2024 and try to eat. I don't know. Okay, so if I had to eat something if I had to eat any sort of
pork,
meat.
chicken, beef. Which one?
No turkey?
Well, it's poultry, chicken. Yeah. So
I could never eat a cow again for the rest of my life. So that's out. I could never eat pork again because I love pigs and cows. It would have to be a chicken. It would have to be if I did. But
what if the chicken breast or chicken thighs? I love chicken thighs. Chicken thighs, to me, they're easier to cook. It's tougher to overcook them, so they're not going to get as dry. Because chicken breasts, once they hit like 165, if you cook them just even slightly over 165 Fahrenheit, they're going to just dry out, and you're just going to be chewing on it. And that's where you probably get that just like, I'm just chewing for days on it. It like gross you out. Chicken thighs, you can get up to like 190, and they're still going to be moist. What if you just like really chop it up, just like itty bitty, mix it in with some beans, pinto beans or black beans, put some cheese and rice in there. You won't even know it's there.
I could just put it in a blender and pinch my nose and just
go for
it.
freshwater fish, Sassy. Go for
right,
that. Yeah, because those are really lean too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know what he's saying though, and I do get it. Like it would be better. Like I would probably be at a different weight if I just ate like chicken and vegetables like you're supposed to. But because a lot of the, vegetarian options do have a lot of shit in them
It's
and
the
soy and
soy,
all that.
the Beyond or Impossible, whatever the fugazi, the what is it? The
Were you
the
going to say
proprietary
fugazi?
blend. A
Were you gonna say
fugazi. It's a fucking wazi. It's a
Fugazi is
woozy. It
fake
doesn't
in
even. It
Italian.
doesn't fucking exist. It's imaginary. It doesn't.
It's a fugazi.
Yeah, it's a fucking fugazi. No, it's the proprietary blend of whatever Beyond or Impossible is. The soy is just so bad for you. Everybody.
I'll figure it out.
They did a study too, I think like 2 years ago for the Beyond and Impossible burgers too, where they did just like a side-by-side comparison. And like those are also so filled with like just inflammatory oils and everything that it actually also does
glycerin
more
and
harm
shit.
to your
Do you know what
gut than
glycerin
good.
is? Glycerin is literally the main ingredient in fucking like hemorrhoid fucking suppositories.
Yeah.
Like fucking butt pills for your fucking asshole is what glycerin is. And they're putting it in your food.
Okay, I'm gonna go die now. I'll be right back.
No, I'm
Listen,
sorry.
so like
No,
I
it's
started
true.
eating pickerel lately. Pickerel,
Who?
it's a pickerel. Pickerel. It's a freshwater fish, 21 grams of protein for every 100 gram serving. And it's got a bit of higher fat in there, so you'll meet your keto target as well.
Mm.
And it tastes
right.
kind of like a slightly sweet haddock almost.
I don't even know if I've had either of those before.
Do you do
Haddock's
eggs?
just a blue my fish.
Oh yeah, I love eggs. I eat
Okay.
eggs and cheese and all that.
That's
and that's
liquid
where I try
chicken.
to get my I try not to think about that, dude. I try not to think that this little yolk here could have been a baby if it was fertilized. I know. There was a while there where I could not eat a yolk. Like I like the runny yolk and I couldn't eat it for a while because it made me gag. Like I go through really weird phases. I never thought I would be on this vegetarian train for 16 years now.
Damn.
It's weird. I know.
You're deprived.
You know what, though? I don't miss. The only thing I miss is a good piece of fried chicken. I know.
There you go.
I know it's fattening food, though. That's what I miss. I miss the fattening food. But I also miss, like I said, if I could just like meal prep and do like a chicken breast with vegetables like every day. I mean, that is the best thing to eat when you're trying to lose weight as well. But yeah, I pretty much suck at all that. So I'll have to figure it out. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. I was going to ask you guys, I didn't put a thing in the chat because I forgot a poll. Do you guys do New Year's resolutions or do you just have like a manifestation of things that you want to do for the new year and you just like a list or like, how do you guys do that? Vex, do you have anything on the list besides getting out of Canada?
Just being better at things. Like I'm dealing with my own hormone issues, so getting that on track was a big thing for 2023. Just continuing that into 2024. But my resolution was just to read one book a month.
Okay.
That's
all
it.
right.
Yeah.
All right. And Shiro, you?
So this year, I don't typically do like crazy resolutions, but on my list this year was to actually attempt a DIY project with wood.
Okay.
In my house. So whatever that is, there's a couple things I'm thinking about, like pull out racks for my pantry and something like that. But other than that, 2024 is have a baby. So.
Oh, that's right. All right.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's Beardo's resolution too. He wants to have babies.
Yeah. Before a baby, though, I need to find a girlfriend and a wife, though, first. That's the first step, is finding a wife before the baby comes.
So what are you doing about that? Since we have a male and our female perspective, right. What is the dating like? Like, how are you, we're just going to segue. How do you meet people this day and age? Like, friends of a friend? Do you do dating apps? Do people hook you up? Like, I'm just curious now, because like, I'm lame and met mine in high school, so I don't know how all this works anymore.
Like, I'm also curious too, what's the dating scene like in Orlando? Because that's also a pretty liberal city on top of that. So
I am ignorant to all of it. I mean, I've tried dating apps. None of them have. The quality of women on dating apps, it's just like, I know what the reality is do I want to be linked up with and try to date and court a woman who I know got fucking ran through by every other fucking dude on this app that has a body count of fucking 20 fucking dudes? Do I really want to commit? And, you know, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure, but it's like if 20 to 30 fucking dudes banged you and said, nah, see you later, do I really want to get on a knee and say, you're it? Like, nah, no thanks.
Hold on. This actually raises another question. Okay, so what are the kind of like red flags that you look for when you're just like, I know that this chick has been run through? Like, what are the immediate things that were like, that's a hot dog in the hallway situation?
You can tell by text, I guess. You can tell by text if they're quick to respond for like 2 days, and then let's say like one night they just ghost you. They don't like say they text you for like 2 or 3 days. Conversation's good. And then they don't text you at all one day. And then the day after that, they start texting you again. Well, you can almost automatically assume that the day they didn't text you, they went out on another date and got dicked down. Like, you can almost assume, like 99% of the time, and the 1% of the time, maybe a family member died or something like that. But 99% of the time, if you're texting them 3 days straight, good conversation, you guys are planning a date, hey, let's go out this day, whatever. She's sending you good morning text, whatever. She ghosts you the entire fucking day. The entire day. Done. Nothing. And then hits you up the next day after that. You can almost guarantee that day that she didn't hit you up, that she got dicked down by some other dude.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you can guarantee that, first of all. You guys are on a dating app with access to millions of people, and I think both sides of the aisle here are terrible people when it comes to dating apps. There are terrible people on both sides. And just because someone didn't text you for a full day doesn't mean they're getting dicked down. Does it happen a lot? Sure, I'll agree to that. But you're dating, you've offered yourself up to hundreds of people to match with you. So if someone caught their attention for a hot minute, it is what it is.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't do dating apps anymore. Like, I wouldn't, because I do actually have firsthand experience of dating somebody and finding somebody long term on a dating app. Yeah. And then that happened. And then commitment happened. And then coming clean months, years down the line and say, hey, you know what? I have something to admit to you. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'll say it right now. I was married and I'm a divorced man because I was on a fucking dating app and I fucking wifed up a chick who was a fucking whore on a dating app. And she told me after we were married, and we were hanging out with friends, and she told me one night, she goes, hey, Beardo. She didn't call me Beardo, but
she called him his real name, which I know.
She called me my real name, and she goes, hey, I need to tell you this. The night before our first date, remember when I didn't text you? And, well, my parents were out of town, and I had this guy who I've been seeing off and on, and, yeah, he came over, and, you know, things happened. And then the very next day, I went on our first date together with you. So it's like, man, so I do speak from a little bit of firsthand experience. I'm a little bit traumatized by that. So, yeah, no dating apps for me. I just think that's just, yeah. No,
so I do have a question. What's an appropriate body count to you?
An appropriate body count? Well, there's statistics, like, and it's so hard. Like nowadays, and like my generation, because I was born in '95, so I guess that technically makes me a millennial. technically.
My husband's
Like,
95 as well.
I'm on like the cusp of millennial and Gen Z, but I'm still millennial, I think. I'm not sure exactly what
I
the
can't
cutoff
keep
is.
up with that. I don't even know time zones. You want
But
me to
it's
know
like,
this?
man, just like I know the older generations, it's more traditional. I do think that social media and the access, like the quick, easy access to anyone and anything at any moment makes everything so much easier. I feel like, the generation before me, it was a lot more, how do I say, modest, I guess, modest. But now,
Well, we
man,
had to
it's
talk on the
just like,
phone, to be honest. Like we had conversations on the telephone, not
right,
texting, not
right.
DMing and stuff. Like, Cannoli and I would talk on the phone. I mean, this is old school, but like you used to like write each other letters, or you would send a postcard, or if you're on vacation, or just
Well, I'm
stupid
just
shit
saying
like
you
that.
used to use a phone as an actual phone, right?
Yeah,
Instead
not a cell phone. Like I would talk. Now, granted, we're older, but it just like, let's see, you were born in 95. Okay, so I'm not 15-year difference. A lot changes in that time frame where like I legitimately was on a cordless phone at my parents' house talking on the phone to Cannoli. Now it's like cell phones and you're sitting on FaceTime just staring at each other for a while. Not, like, as I see what my daughter does. She's 15. So I do see that. But you're right, Beardo.
Well, and
it's
it's like,
different now.
yeah, and it's like with Instagram, it's like, you can post one picture, a woman can post one picture, and it could be modest or it could be skimpy, and the right person likes it or slides into your DMs. That is instant connection, instant access to start something. But and even if they're in a relationship, and I think modern women are so drawn to the appeal of attention and that just that hit of adrenaline and just man, it's totally changed. But so to answer your question about what's an acceptable body count to wife somebody up, I think in my generation, and I'll probably get heat for this, I think
That's
like
all right.
wifey material. Like I would like a one night, like a little fling. If we're both honest with each other, hey, this isn't going anywhere. Whatever. I'm just here for a little bit of fun, a summer fling. Like, yeah, sure. If a chick, slept with 20 dudes, maybe I'll, have fun with her and I'll, we'll hang out and we'll have sex a few times over summer and whatever. But I'm not going to wife her up. I would say if a wife nowadays for me, it's got to be like 5 or less. 5 max. Like
I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
I think over 5, you're looking at a harsh reality going forward of just disappointment and just miscommunication and just the inability to connect chemically.
Yeah. I don't think, what do you ladies think? I think 5 is fair.
I have a low body count, so because I started having sex pretty late in life, and mine were only in relationships. So I think I'm a slut though with my body count.
Yeah, I mean, given your age, like 28, if I consider what my body count was at that time, it was very low as well, like at that same age. So, I mean, there are people out there who have low body counts.
You want to know what mine is? No, yours doesn't win. Mine wins. You ready?
No, I think both you and Jana are the same.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jana might be the same.
I
One.
think you and Jana are the
Cannoli
same.
and I both have the same body count.
That's
One.
awesome.
Yeah.
One.
That's awesome.
But then I got divorced from my first husband, and it was like, while out for a minute.
And that's okay.
So yeah, exactly. So I met my ex-wife on a dating app, and I was under the impression that her body count was a certain number.
Okay.
I was under the impression, proposed, got married. It was like 3 or 4 months after we got married. I don't know what compelled her to do it. And she just told me, and she says, yeah, well, I told you that this was my body count, and, well, it's actually this. And I was fucking floored. Because here's the thing.
That's not right.
If I would have fucking known, I would have never wifed this chick up. Never. And I felt like I wanted to fucking vomit. Like because it went against everything. It went against everything that I believe in. And I think she lied to me because she knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but okay, so given this one thing about her, were all the other things wifey material? Because you married her.
So I mean, we'll get personal. I don't care. In this relationship, man, and I don't want to speak any ill will towards her because I've moved on. I've never said anything ill about her. I've just tried to take the high road and just not drag her through the mud or anything. I'm not mad at her. I'm not bitter or anything. I felt trapped, and I felt like it was my duty to propose and marry to her because while we were dating, her mother passed away while we were dating, and her and her mother were best friends, and I felt like it was my moral duty to be there for her and to propose to her and be there, even though and I had doubts on my fucking wedding day. On the fucking wedding day, I had my doubts, and I convinced myself that I could suffer for the rest of my life because it was my duty. I was meant to just take the high road and be there for her because her mom died while we were dating, and I felt like it was my responsibility to kind of fulfill that role
and take care of her.
And that was a huge fucking.
You got married, by the way. Sorry, just
25.
Gotcha. Okay.
24, 25, I think.
Okay.
We started dating when I was 23, and we got married 2 years later, so I was 25.
Very young. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 23 when I got married. But I was with Cannoli for 7 years at that time, and it was like, should have got off the pot. You know if you're going to be with somebody or not by that point. But no, I understand what you're saying because sometimes.
And I've never said that online ever. That's actually like,
oh,
nobody fucking knows that. Nobody's ever heard that, known that, nothing. This is like a firsthand, kind of like.
Well, I appreciate you sharing
a revealing moment, but no, I mean.
It is very hard though. Oh Jesus, seriously? That's.
Damn.
I thought I was pissed because my daughter was vaping
you know
behind
what?
my back at 12.
I actually know where Jay grew up, so 12 sounds about right.
Gotcha. Oh. Okay. No, I appreciate you being vulnerable, Beardo, because I think a lot of people, they do grow from other people's experiencing, hearing what other people have gone through and stuff, or they realize, wow, I've done the same thing, and that also makes you wanted to take care of her because her mom wasn't there anymore. And that says a lot about you. But marriage too is, I feel like these days, and not in your situation, but these days now, like right now, people are getting married because of the parties and the Instagram photos, and just to say that they've done it. And you got married for different reasons. You were trying to take care of her and protect her. I think now people are getting married for, not everybody, but I see a lot of people, because you see how many people just get married and get divorced less than a year later because they're doing it for those type of reasons when there's no feeling involved in it. So I feel like, I don't know. I also feel like, do you guys remember the Candace Owens thing I was telling you about, Vex, where she was saying that if you don't believe in God, you shouldn't get married because marriage.
I remember this. Yeah.
It was strange. It was such a strange thing where, like, even though you have to go down to the courthouse and get a legal document, you shouldn't get married if you don't believe in God because it's a religious thing. I thought that was weird too. Like, there's just so many different views on marriage this day. I think it can be very confusing for people. And some people don't have to get married. They can just be together. That works for people too.
Well, then you get common law at a certain point. So it's
right.
Yeah. What, Beardo?
No, just like, especially with my generation, like this like rave culture, which is like I think a little bit different from like your guys's older, like, well, not older, like, forgive me, sorry. But old. Like the generation before me, the rave culture, like now it's like this EDM, just like dubstep music with the lights and the fucking skimpy outfits and the drugs, like ecstasy, Molly and stuff like that. So ecstasy literally Huh?
That's Bex's lifestyle. That's what Bex likes to do on her downtime.
Listen, hold on, but listen. I am a good.
I'm talking to
girl.
you.
Listen, I'm a good girl though. Like I'm married. I have an extremely low body count. I actually just wear shorts and a tank top to raves because I want to be comfy. So
Right. But about that like rave culture, about like the whole drugs and ecstasy and stuff like that, like people being high on these drugs at these concerts, like at like raves, just to be specific, we're gonna narrow it down. Let's just say like raves or whatever. Ecstasy is a hell of a fucking drug with the dopamine and stuff, and just like the love and affection, like in like these raves and the people that take these drugs at the raves, it's all about love and peace and stuff like that. And you're taking these fucking drugs, and it's
Right.
like you meet somebody at this rave, and it's like you're on ecstasy. You find this other person who's on ecstasy at the rave, and you're getting this false sense of reality that you guys are in love because you met at this concert, and there's just lights, and this is just huge, just like spectacle, and you guys are on drugs, and you guys are thinking that you're in love, and then you guys start, and it's just like, it's all fake. It's all fucking drugs. It's all chemicals, and it's all bullshit. And then what? You guys start dating, and then and then it's done and over with.
So you
I
think
think
that's
that's a
how
big-
a lot of relationships start these days, is in those type of
Start
situations?
and finish, like very
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah.
Well,
and I was never a part of the rave culture. I've never
Me either.
done ecstasy or Molly or anything like that. But I've seen friends, girlfriends and guy friends, who go through it, and they start dating somebody, just this random fucking person that they met at a fucking rave that they just happened to do drugs with at the same time at this one rave concert, and then they start dating him for a few months, and then they're done.
I was gonna say, I actually notice a lot more people starting relationships off of like fuck buddy relationships now. So it's like it's
Yeah.
like they probably meet at a club or something, and there's a fix that needs to be filled, and then it just becomes like, oh, we're already together, we're already having sex, so we might as well just make it official. Like I'm a generation above you. Like I'm only 4 years older than you are, and I notice a lot of people in my age group. That's how they started a lot of relationships, off fuck buddies.
Yeah, so I will say this, like the rave culture, that drug culture and getting together and partying has existed before we were all born. I mean, look at
Oh,
the
right.
70s,
Like
right?
Woodstock and
This
stuff like that.
isn't something new that's
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
But Vex, I will say, to your point, I think that is something new that is in the open happening, right? Because back in the day and until really the social media and stuff came forward, like people were arranged marriage or went on a couple dates before they're like, okay, let's we're gonna be together. It wasn't like, oh, we're just talking. It was, you had an intent to date somebody, and then you agreed to be in that committed relationship, and then you probably had sex. Now it's the only way to get someone to stay around you is to give them the physical, the instant gratification, and then I will work on seeing if I can get you to stay emotionally.
So I'll say this, just to piggyback off of your point, which I completely 100% agree with. I think that does also have to do with the women's body count, whereas men are constantly competing with the last guy. The men are constantly competing with the last guy. And let's say that the woman had, whether it's a shitty experience or a great experience. Let's say that, whatever woman that you're courting was dating a guy or seeing a guy. Maybe it was a fuck buddy. Maybe it was just a fuck buddy. They had sex maybe tops 3 times. But she was infatuated this guy, climaxed every time, maybe multiple times every time. And now that dude is done and gone and run away, kicked her to the curb, and now she's on to the next guy, and that next guy has to compete with this fantasy or experience that the woman had with this Chad or whatever, this dude who was just a hookup for 3 nights, but now she is chemically climaxed with this random fucking dude that she just hooked up with, this fuck buddy, and now the dude has to compete with him.
So
Sounds exhausting.
yeah, Yeah, you're not wrong, but I think this idea of competing with the last man has also always existed, because when you
Correct.
talk about
Correct.
courting
Yeah.
and arranged marriage, like you were competing with the next person. I would say that women are part of the issue, because now we're trying to be like men in a sense. You can just go have that high body count and it doesn't matter. I can do what a man does. I can,
But I'm thinking it's easier now. Like, it's more accessible with like social media, sliding into DMs and stuff, Snapchat. You know, you can send out, you know, whatever. Men and women can send out the Snapchat. But for women especially, because men don't get the DMs like women do. A woman, a young, attractive woman will get 10 DMs a day. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? You look pretty. She posts a story, whatever. Dudes, I can probably name off 2 times in the last 3 years where I've had a woman slide in my DMs. And, you know, but a semi-attractive chick will get hit up every day. So I think, like, it's a little bit more accessible nowadays, just with social media and smartphones and stuff. It's a little bit worse. But you're right, it has existed forever. But I think now just the body counts are just so high. So you're not just competing with 1 or 2 guys. You're competing against like fucking 10 other dudes.
See, my daughter even said, this is coming from a 15-year-old. That's how it is for me. It's scary as a teenage girl. Just, I mean, she gets weird shit all the time. People slide up into her DMs and say really weird, like, she tells me a lot of stuff. So I'm not like, she's not sneaking around. She doesn't leave the house much, so I know where she's at. But she gets like some really questionable shit, and she's only 15. And people are just, they're disrespectful pigs a lot of the times, I feel like. And it is different.
It's hookup culture. It's hookup culture.
Yes,
like
that's what it is. You're right.
Culture.
That's better words. Thank you. It is hookup culture. And I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I were younger and in your generation, I don't know if I could handle it. The hookup culture. I don't know if I'm built like that. I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would make it.
To be fair, I think it also, like, you have to really consider kind of what the moral compass of some of these women are. So, like, yeah, you can be competing with the previous guy, but it's also a matter of like, how does that woman just kind of like handle things day to day on a mental level? So, like, when I met my husband, I knew right away I wanted to marry him, and I was very forthcoming. You just straight away with him. I was like, here's my body count. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a fuck buddy. I'm not looking to fuck around. Like, I'm looking for the real thing. Most women won't do that because they just, again, it's kind of like, it ties hand in hand with that whole lack of accountability thing, because most women, I find, especially in even my generation, because I'm still a bit younger than Sassy and Shiro, they just don't understand how to actually like develop any like mental or emotional strength. So
and that's why you're married, though. That's the thing. That's why you got wifed up, and that's why you're married.
There you go. So because like I was on date, like my first relationship, I planned to marry him. So that's why I lost otherwise he would be my only body as well. But like afterwards, I just didn't know how to meet people because I hadn't gone through the party scene throughout all of my 20s. I'd only been with one person. I didn't know how to meet anyone else. So I went on dating apps, and I didn't like anyone on dating apps. Like, I was getting a bunch of matches every day, but like everyone is like, sometimes it's just hard to meet people. So like, I mean, like, it's not always that chicks are getting run through on like dating apps, but at the same time, like, even when you go out in public, so like, I'm near Toronto, so like socializing is kind of like near fucking impossible because everyone is in their own little bubble. And like, as much as like, I'll go to raves and I'll meet the people that you were talking about earlier, where it's like, oh, I love you, man, and let's go get a drink. And then, but they don't actually want to go past that superficial thing of like, oh, I'm on drugs, so let's embrace it. Everything they preach is just in the moment. Like, you feel alone in a city of almost 3 million people when you go to Toronto because everyone's so in their bubble. So like, like, just to push back on the app point, I do feel like it's dependent on a lot of other factors, but like at the same time, I have known quite a few girls have been run through on those things. So
like, I will agree with you here. So like, when coming out of my divorce was right at the time that oh, I forget what, maybe it was Match.com or something. That was like the kickoff, and eHarmony were kind of like kicking off the whole dating app things. And I really had to learn my lesson once I got on them, that if you want someone serious, put the things out there that you want right away. Don't hold back and be like, yes, yes, yes. So surface level stuff. Because if you put out there, I want to be married, I don't want to fuck buddy, I'm not going to settle for your nonchalant answer right now. Those people will just naturally sort of go away. Some might still try to get you, right? But it's a lot easier to see through the BS if you're being very upfront and honest about what you want and all that stuff. You know, ego will say, like, she screwed me up, man. On the first date, she was asking me third date questions. I was like, look, I don't have time to play with you. What do you want?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, see, that my daughter was saying that too. Like, even at 15, they hit her up because they want a booty call. And she's like, that's what she has to do every time she starts talking to a guy, is tell them this is exactly what to expect from me. She actually had, now this was a year ago when she was 14, this boy that she dated at one point when she was younger, you know, we have all little boyfriends and stuff. He was like, oh, I can drive now. Why don't you meet me at this shopping center and we can hang out in my car? Yeah. Well, she knew exactly what he was asking for. Yeah. And she's like, no, thanks. I'm good. But
I just
even
think that's just like the general standard, like what people think is what goes on nowadays, like with this hookup culture with social media and Instagram. And like Instagram has ruined relationships, ruined just dating, has ruined dating.
I know Snapchat is equally responsible because you can just send titty pics and dick pics.
Snapchat's almost worse.
Yeah, I would argue that it's even worse. Yep.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that you raise, like my 15-year-old right here. She does not take shit from anybody. She's absolutely correct. See, she said this is 15. Instagram and Snapchat are so evil. I mean, just the stuff that you see on there from, I see different things because I'm older. So the things that I follow and the things that I get are different than, like, because I'll say something to her. I'm like, hey, did you see this thing on TikTok? She's like, Mom, I don't follow that kind of stuff. Why would that be on my For You page? I was like, yeah, that's true, because we're different groups. But, you know, that's the thing, though. Even coming up at 15 years old, she's going to run into it even worse. The body counts are going to be even higher than they are now. And the problem is, too, is unfortunately with Beardo, as you get older, and I hate to say this, but women their body counts are going to get higher. Their baggage is going to get a lot more, and they're going to bring a lot more shit to the table. And it's like, it's really sad. And I just, you know, honestly, like, I should be somebody with a high body count. I should not be wifed up. I should be a hot fucking mess because statistically, my parents didn't love me. I have major daddy issues, major mommy issues. Like, I have, you know, a lot of mental health. Like, I really could have gone down a different road had I not met Cannoli. But statistically, like, when you look at people's pasts of why they are promiscuous or why they do drugs or why they do this or why they do that, it's usually because they're trying to numb the pain from when they were growing up. And so statistically, I should not be sitting where I am right now, to be honest with you. Why are you looking like that, Bex?
You just said that you should be a hoe. Like,
yeah, I should be. Statistically, my dad walked out on me. Okay, so like I was literally at 13 years old sitting on the side of the road with no place to live. Because my dad was like, yeah, your stepmom's cooler than you, so I'm going to go ahead and throw you out. Oh, your mom's not answering the phone? Sorry, you still need to get out of the house. So I'm sitting on the curb in the middle of the summer in Arizona with my little backpack and my blanket, waiting for my best friend's mom to pick me up so I could go, you know, somewhere. And then I spent my first days of 7th grade in a courthouse because my dad called the school and said, if my daughter shows up to school there, I'm going to kidnap her. Yeah, listen, I should really be a hoe bag drug addict right now. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Go listen to Jay's stream on Diabolical. What are you now? Diabolical Souls? I talked about it over there. But that's true. Like, I don't feel like people are being raised the way that they were. I think we're all doing well for ourselves, but there's a whole group of kids that are inundated. Like, I'm grateful my daughter has a good head on her shoulders, because the stuff that she's inundated with now with Snapchat and all Instagram and all that shit, it can really Sassy said the same thing when I interviewed her, and I called her a phenomenon. Typically she should be down a different path. I really should be, but like, that's what I'm saying. At the same time, like, I don't know. I think it's really going to be hard as our kids get older, trying to find.
You know what, though? That's a matter of how you're raising them at the end of the day. Like, that's like the big reason why I didn't get into a serious relationship or start having sex till later, because I grew up in a very more traditional household. My parents had an arranged marriage. So, well, I mean, my dad was a slut, but that's a different story. But right? So like, but I was raised with a certain kind of female role model, and that kept me from throwing my cat around when I was younger. But
yeah,
it's all a matter of how you're choosing to raise them. That raises these. Like, I'm not giving. If I have a daughter, she's not getting a phone until she's like 18. She can get a flip phone until then. But
do you guys want to hear something really cringy? I said it.
Oh, is it mid as well?
It's mid.
What
True
is
story.
mid? Someone please tell me.
Like
my mom.
So mid is like basic, but mid actually comes from, like, if you go to a marijuana dispensary, it's like mid shelf. Like, you got your top shelf, mid shelf, lower shelf, but mid it's middle. Mid is middle, but mid just means like basic.
Gotcha.
Mid is basic.
Okay.
Oh, look at what I get shit all the time for being a virgin at 15. They expect me to have this high body count, and I'm like, are you serious? I'm still a kid.
That is gnarly.
Jules, I got shit for being a virgin too at like 16, at 18.
Me too.
Until I lost it at 25. Like, everyone gave me fucking shit about it, but I can guarantee you it's worth it to actually wait for the right person. Because every girl I know that lost it in high school, they all have told me they regret it. You know
why it's worth it? Because eventually there's going to be a smart dude that says, hey, I'm looking for a chick with 5 or less. Mm-hmm. And then it,
I mean, how's that working out for you?
He's still single, honey. He's still single. We're trying.
We're getting there.
All right, Sassy Sasquatch, it was nice being on your show. It's about my bedtime. So catch you guys later.
Listen, if anybody...
I'll find her. She's out there. I know she is. Hey,
here we go.
She's out there.
If anybody is interested in this lovely gentleman here on the show who has banged 5 or less men...
No, it would have to be 4 or less, because then Beardo would be the 5th.
Okay, so 4 or less.
That's acceptable.
Please slide into his DMs. You can't be fucking nuts. Low key on the baggage. Let's keep that down. Maybe 1 suitcase. 1.
And don't fucking lie to me about it.
And don't fucking lie. That's one thing too about me, though. I'll be honest with you. I would be straightforward. Like, I tell you guys everything. I'm like, I don't care. I would tell the person on a dating app exactly what they're getting from me. My body count. I wouldn't lie about that, because I'm too honest.
So can I just make a case, though, because I'm gonna get a little personal here, right, with myself. Like, as a young person, I had mentioned I had a low body count. I got married at 19, so it was very low. I didn't get divorced until like 26, 27. And I had a moment. I'm gonna call it a mental crisis. And I did things that I had never done before and acted in ways that I never acted before. And then by the time my current husband came around, my body count wasn't low anymore. I had, not been a great person for a moment in my life, but I learned and grew from that. And thankfully, I found a man who was willing to see that I went through this period and this is who I am now and where I'm at now, and met me there. The one thing I will say, if I would have had a kid, he would have never signed up for me, right? Mm-hmm. But everything else, sometimes it's the person. So I'll make a case for that. Maybe it's not for you, but as you get older, it might be.
To be fair, though, you make a good point, because most women don't learn from their past mistakes, I think, is the bigger issue with a lot of women that have a more promiscuous past or a higher body count. Is there is that mentality of always stuck in the greatest hits, we'll say, as opposed
Mhm.
to living and learning from all of that. So I get where you're coming from, Shira. I can agree with that as well.
Yeah. Well,
So
and nowadays you have women who are saying, I got sucked into that feminist culture that's like, I can F whoever I want. And now I'm coming out of that, like, what the hell did I just do?
Yeah.
So that is happening.
So when, because I was younger, so I didn't really know what my standard was. I didn't really have, I didn't have the benchmark or the standard. So when I was on the dating app and I met my ex-wife, and I was told that her number was, it was like around like 15 or 16. And I was okay with that, and that was what she told me, and I was fine. You know, like I already said, tragedy and stuff, and I was, we were already dating, and I popped the question, and we were married, and then it was like 4 months after we got married, then she told me, and it was twice that, around like the 30 number, and that's when I wanted to fucking vomit. I was just like, 30? And I was like, holy fuck. It's like, I don't know. So it's like, now I think, now after all that, after having coped and accepted what I thought was okay, and then going through that with the lie and the deception, and then now to where I am now, it's like, okay, I'm like, I'm trying to set like a bar, and this isn't just me. This is like, kind of what I've gathered from other people, friends, and online men gurus. Like, there's this it's called like 21 Studios or 21. It's like this men mentor group. But anyways, I don't know. I think like around 5 is like the magic number for like a healthy relationship. But I mean, is that super realistic? Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? But
you guys got married. Was she the same age when you got married? 24?
yeah.
I was going to say, like, 30 people by 24, 30 to 40 people by 24, I think is far more
So like I
problematic.
said,
Yeah. Than
she
let
was
a woman.
she was
Yeah.
on the dating apps.
Yeah. Like,
She
that's
was
more
on
problematic.
the dating apps.
'Cause, like,
And yeah.
Shiro's saying, like, she got divorced at 27, 28, and then she had a phase. I feel like that, while probably not as good still, I think
Yeah.
that shows that's a bit better than going through 30 dudes
30,
before
yeah.
25.
I felt
That's
like
wild.
a fucking fool. Like a
That's
fucking fool.
wild.
Yeah. And
How
it's
do you
not
have
like it,
time for that?
and it's
Yeah, that's a lot. Like,
I felt like a fool. Like, I understand a period of, let's say you get out of high school, you have a high school sweetheart, that's the only person you ever been with, that's your 1st true love, breakup, agony, just pain, and you go through a hoe phase or whatever. You go through a phase where you party, you're going out with the girlfriends, oh, this guy's giving me attention, and like, okay, like, I understand. It's for a lot of people, it's inevitable. Guys go through it too.
Yeah.
Guys go through it too. I'd be lying if I say I didn't go through something similar. But
Sure.
it's like,
but what if she's a free spirit, not specifically talking about your ex, but just a woman who is a free spirit who needed to sow her wild oats before she said, okay, I want to be a wife and be married. I've experienced that. I don't need that in my life anymore. I want to move forward. And she's great.
To that, and I might get fucking murdered for this. I might get murdered for this.
I'm not trying to get you canceled.
I know I might get murdered for this, but here's the thing. So, how do I say this without getting crucified?
This is a safe space.
There
It
is.
It's fine.
So let's say there's a young couple. And the girlfriend in this young couple, she's got a lot of single friends. And the single friends, you guys just hit 21, 22, 23, whatever. And the single girlfriends are going out. Hey, come out, come to the club, come to the bar. And the boyfriend is like, I kind of don't want you to do that. And the girl's like, I'm a free spirit. I kind of reject the term free spirit. It's like,
well, okay, so this free spirit didn't have a boyfriend when she's being a free spirit. I'm saying she did the free spirit and then said, you know what? I really want to have a family. I want to. Would you
agree that a lot of the times when women and men, but specifically, I guess in this instance for women, a lot of these hoe phases come after a serious long-term relationship?
I can say
I would say more than likely.
So I don't. That was my experience. I don't know what everybody else's.
I think for both men and women, a lot of hoe phases for men and women come after like a serious long-term committed relationship that ends in like heartbreak, tragedy, and then it's just like, okay, and then you kind of spiral into this what they call a hoe phase or whatever. I will say women say they're in a young relationship and then they break up and they go through like, let's say, young years through 20 into their 30s and they rack up a body count. And then there's a man who's in his 30s. Do I want to go for, and like I said, I'm going to get crucified for this. Do I want to go for the, and age, I'll be honest, age doesn't really fucking matter. It's like, do I want to go for it could be a 40-year-old. Let's say, here's a 40-year-old who's great, two 40-year-olds. They're both great. I get along with them, both equally fantastic. I have a great time with both of them. They're both different, and we have our each individual things that we both enjoy. One has slept with 3 guys. One has slept with 16 guys. I'm wifing up the chick with 2 guys every single fucking day. And I think that's how a lot of men behave and would react. Now, if you have a chick who's 35 and another chick who's 35, and I don't get along with this chick either, but she's got a body count of 3, and this other chick, she's got a body count of 12, and I really get along with the chick with the body count of 12, there's a case to be made. You know, that could be your soulmate and your life partner and whatever. But I'd say on an equal playing field, you're going for the chick with the lower body count every single time.
So you will consider a higher body count in certain circumstances if they have fit everything, like fit the bill on every single thing, and the body count's the only thing. You would make an exception to that if everything else lined up and they were honest about their body count.
There is studies like the ability, like the female man. I'm not trying to get gruesome or like
no, it's fine.
Uber super sexual or anything like that. There are studies done on the female orgasm. The female orgasm is like so compelling and like chemically, like there is an attachment made when a woman orgasms with a man, and the amount of men that a woman orgasms with when it just keeps adding up and keeps compiling up, that connection, it gets lost. There's a loss of translation there. And it's like, so when go for it. No.
Oh no, I said the dick makes you sick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dickmatized or whatever. Dickmatized, right? Dickmatized, yeah. But no, like the amount of men that a woman has been with, if she has orgasmed and made that kind of chemical connection with 10 dudes, what makes that 11th dude special? Nothing. But if she's had sex with 3 guys, and that 3rd guy is like the best climax she's ever had, it's like, that's the one. But if she's been with 10 guys And that third, and still the third climax is the best one she's ever had. She is comparing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10 to that third guy.
So what you're saying is cannoli is lucky. I have nothing to compare it to.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. There is something magical and very important to the female orgasm as far as a committed long-term relationship goes. There is a chemical, neurological bond that a woman creates with a man when she orgasms with that guy. There's been studies done, and like, I don't know, I'm not a fucking doctor. To me, this is just bro science, what I'm saying here. But I've heard it from somebody else who is a fucking doctor, you know?
No, it's interesting because I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I do think there's something that chemical happens when you orgasm. I will say that fades though. Like,
What do you mean?
Well, that's when you start doing anal.
yikes.
I mean, I get it. You tire out one hole, you got another. I mean, Vex
You got to
is
start
a
switching it
brown
up. That's when
magic
you put in the
wonderful.
butt plugs, you get the nipple clamps, you start doing crazy shit. You tie each other up and stuff.
Listen, wait. PSA. I follow this girl on TikTok who I think is she likes to do things for money, and she was utilizing a toy in her back door and had to go to the hospital because her butthole turned inside out. So I would say be careful. And
What
then
was she shoving up there that it turned inside out?
No, she showed it on the next TikTok. It was a rather large floppy dildo looking thing that had like pokers on it. And then she didn't learn from that. And a week later, she was playing around with this dude and decided to hide the keys to the handcuffs that she was wearing or he was wearing up her butthole, and they got stuck. And she had to have her bodyguard come and fish them out. So be careful what you put in your back door.
We have the expert. The expert is here.
Ego.
He cannot stay out of it. It keeps bugging me. So, Ego.
What do you want to say, Ego? Go ahead, babe.
I seen a question for Beardo. I got a situation to ask you, a scenario, because this is happening.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Not with me, right?
No.
Okay.
This is ego toe face.
Oh, you had a whole face.
No, I didn't. No. All right. So I'm saying like body counts under 5, right? That she tells you. Okay. I've only been with, had sex with 5 guys, but it's all anal because she's saving herself for marriage.
Oh, I've heard this.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Oh man.
I've heard
That's a
that.
fair question.
I've
I've heard that.
Of course.
Yeah,
Because
I've heard that.
if you're in
Okay.
Orlando, even though it's a liberal city, but it's a conservative state, so you will be with women that have said, I haven't had sex yet, but I like the butt stuff. So, hey,
That
you're the
is a
first
fair
to get in
question.
there. You got it on the ground floor. Body counts under 5.
So
But, like, you're not going to be top shelf when it comes to the butt stuff.
So the butt stuff doesn't count as a
No,
body?
some women say the butt stuff don't count.
Oh.
Those are overly religious
Man,
women will say that.
Oh, you
They
said
will
under
say
5.
that.
though. You wanted under 5.
This
If
does
that's what's
open
out
up
there, I need to
a
know what
whole
it-
entire can of worms because there's
Of course.
it does. So first of all, I think that's cope for women. I think that's cope.
Yeah.
I think that's cope. I think if you've been fucked in the ass 5 times as a chick and 0 times in the vagine, you've still been fucked 5 times.
Okay, so we're saying like 5 butts and 5 abs.
And also,
what's the ass to hole ratio, man? Like, I need to know because bro, I've been thinking.
I
about this
can't wait to
whole
change the
time.
description on this stream.
Science, like, I could've
Oh,
run
we're
the
gonna have to
business
make this
when I
18
was
plus.
single. Huh?
we're going to have to
I'm
make this stream
I'm
18
getting
plus.
timestamps for you, Sassy.
Like she's like, hey,
Please do.
I've been dick down 10 times, no anal, 5 anal, 2 vages. Like that's still 7 to 10 if you're doing the numbers. But I mean, like, do you have a ratio? Like,
It is a
Archimedes'
fair
ass
argument.
principle with the buoyancy.
I would
Hey,
say, man, if I'm dating a chick and then she goes, hey, listen, I've been with 10 dudes, but only 5 have been vagine, 5 are anal. I'm like,
No, I'm saying like
nice knowing you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nice,
All right.
nice knowing you.
Okay. Just want
So
to know
the
what you
ass
said.
does
Okay.
count, I guess. He's saying the
Yeah.
ass does count.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Also,
That was a good question.
if we're getting serious here, a lot of these diseases, infections are mostly spread through
Yes.
the back door.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Like Magic Johnson.
All the tearing. Yep, and all the bacteria gets in.
The
Yep.
tearing, blood stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
That's how you get some of this serious stuff is through the back door.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know where you stand. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a good question, Ego. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you. What a legend.
Badass.
oh
What
my
a
God.
legend.
I did not know that where that was going, guys.
What a
You know
legend.
what though? That I have actually, that is a fair question because the super religious girls will say that they've never had it in the vagina, so they haven't popped their cherry, but through the back door and other things are fine, so they're technically still a virgin. That is that is a true thing.
Mhm.
What happens if the chick
Also-
just blows a lot of dudes?
Oh.
But
If
she
she
doesn't have
blows,
sex
that's
with a lot of, like, so
that's fine.
say her actual vaginal body count or anal body count is under 5, right? But she's blow banging like every other dude that she meets, and that
Ooh.
count is like
Fuck,
20.
man. We're
Yeah, see?
we're going down the rabbit hole, man.
Well,
Like-
Beardo, listen, we have to make you prepared for every scenario. This is a
Mhm.
new year,
Right.
new you. You got to find a
Mhm.
wife. We got to help you. So, what if she said, listen, Beardo, I've had 5 in the stink, none in the pink, but I've blown 70 guys.
Oh my
And
God.
not all of
That's
them
a
are
lot
wearing,
of work.
right, but like not all of them are wearing a
Just in
condom
case.
when she blew them as well. So
There,
that
there you
adds
go.
to a
Yeah.
little-
So let's say
yeah.
let's do
Right.
50 blowjobs, 25 with condom,
50,
25 without.
50,
Okay, wait. Let me be.
50
Okay,
times
wait.
she's on a blowjob
No,
or
hey,
50,
let's do this.
50 different dicks.
Let's do this. Let's do 5 in the stink, none in the pink, and
No.
25 blowjobs, 25 different men.
How about no? Let's mix it
No.
up a little bit more, okay?
Okay,
No.
go ahead.
Two in
No.
the pink, 2 in the stink. Let's say 19 in the mouth.
Okay.
That's just as bad.
Beardo is never going to answer my text message on a
I
late
know,
Thursday night
ever
ever
again.
again.
Okay,
No,
so
I dude, no. This is therapy. I fucking love this shit. What are you talking about? This is awesome.
But in all seriousness, when you are courting a woman and you guys start to talk about your sexual experiences or past, you really get into those nitty gritty details?
Well, no, it's just more because he set like a baseline.
It'll get brought up.
expectation,
It'll get
Right.
brought up. Not early on, but it gets brought up. It gets brought
Yeah.
up because there's insecurities, like, you know,
Mhm.
like whether it's the man or the chick that's like, oh, am I the best you've ever had?
Yep.
You know, am I the biggest you've ever had? Am I the tightest you've ever had? You know, am I the,
Yep.
you know, whatever. Do I have the nicest boobs that you've ever seen? You know, there's insecurities on both sides. You start asking the questions, and then it spirals, and you get into it. You get into
I
it.
know people are dumb though. They shouldn't ask the questions they don't want real answers to.
Yeah, could you imagine no, actually the last bitch I was with last week had much bigger titties and her vagina was tighter. So
Like,
is that what you wanted to hear? I mean, like, don't ask of a question if you don't
Mm.
Oh,
want. Oh, sorry, Rover Boy. I know you're new. Puts high tea to shame. Don't say that. That's a good stream. No,
hold on.
it doesn't.
That's
put
a
it to
stream that
shame.
I'm on.
That's right.
Shield Maiden has a good question though. What if she's got a high body count, but they've all been women?
oh.
Okay. So here's my take on this. Here's my take. If it was before me with women, ain't no woman got what I got.
True.
Also,
Nothing to compare it to.
if my girlfriend sometimes sort of maybe liquored up tequila wants to maybe swing the other way, I better be having some fun too.
Okay.
With said, you know, if my girlfriend is having fun with said person, I better be having fun with said person as well.
Okay, but
Or else it's cheating.
so lesbians use a lot of toys and a lot of,
Right.
you know, so that's like, does that change some of the factors?
Okay, well, I'll also say this. Some of these fucking toys, these toys,
They're frightening.
men cannot fucking compete with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Men cannot fucking compete with this. Some of these shits, these fucking... I don't even know what to fucking describe them. These fucking dildo 3000 fucking vibrating fucking just absolute fucking maniac things, these contraptions. Dudes cannot fucking compete with that. Honestly, women that do that kind of thing are setting themselves up for a miserable fucking life and a future because they are getting used to and accustomed to something that a man will never be able to fucking... They'll never be able to fucking match it.
Yep.
Never. That's why it's just like...
No,
women
you're
got to
right.
be careful. Women got to be careful with some of these intense fucking toys because you will always be set up for disappointment when you try to get a man and go to have a romantic
We call
make-love
it intercourse
intercourse.
here.
Just intercourse. When you try to have a intimate session with your significant other, you will always be set up for disappointment because you have conditioned yourself to this fucking vibrator 3000 that just does everything. It licks and vibrates and fucking penetrates
Do you
and
want
stuff.
me
It's
to
like
segue into the clip you sent? Is that why you?
If you want,
You
yeah.
guys can keep talking.
men
Oh.
cannot
It's like-
compete. Dudes cannot compete. I don't care how fucking long or wide you are. You cannot fucking compete with some of these fucking toys that are out there, man.
No,
Women,
it's true.
you're setting yourself up for severe disappointment with a man if you go to these extreme fucking levels of toys, man.
I
Well,
was gonna
that
say, it's
girl
like-
ripped her asshole out with
Yeah,
one.
but- So these toys, not all of the toys are extreme, right? Like if we talk about some of the strap-ons for lesbians, like it's dual pleasure, right?
Mhm.
And not all of them are the extreme. So just
Well, I'm just saying like more in like those sex toys that have like vibrating like mechanisms on them and all that stuff, right? It's like it's a hypersexual stimulation as opposed to what is normal. So it's
But
like
men's dicks do not vibrate.
that's what I
No.
mean. So like it's you are setting, even if it's like a normal sized dick, the fact that you're like, even those rabbit toys, like those
Yeah.
are pretty average sized, but they have the vibrating mechanism and like the clitoral
Yeah.
stimulator. So that also just throws your expectations
Yep.
all the way
Yep.
off because
You're
of that.
conditioning yourself to a standard that no man can compete with.
Yeah. You're getting yourself to, you're going to be let down every time if you're
Every time.
expecting to have this unrealistic outcome with something that is realistic, and you're trying to compare the two. It's just not, it does no good for anybody. So yeah, no, I totally get that. I think that those can be, you could ask the same about the guys that are using the Gok 3000.
I was gonna say, yeah, because even guys, like if they
Yeah.
masturbate too much to porn, right? It's the same thing. They get so used to like
Agreed.
orgasming a certain way, same
Agreed.
hyper stimulation
Agreed.
happens. So
I think they're talking about like what is a fleshlight?
Fleshlight,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fleshlight.
Yeah, like that. It's the same thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. They're both wrong. They're both wrong because dudes that do that are looking at these fucking implanted, bolted on boobs with just all the makeup and the fake hair and the fake butt, fake tits, and then you're using this fucking fleshlight. You're setting yourself up for disappointment, man. Because when the push comes to shove and you're actually hooking up with a real chick, you're not gonna be able to fucking get hard, bro, because it's not what you've been fucking jerking off to.
And that's what I think is so difficult now with these apps and stuff. And then you have all these people. I don't know. You might have talked about it on your show, Beardo, where I think you did actually, where there was this girl who was AI and people were paying to have conversations with her.
Mm-hmm.
And like you would pay like the amount that you would pay for a cup of coffee, and she would go, well, how was your day? And then you'd pay her to respond. And it's just like, she looked a certain way and she was unreal. She was beautiful, but she was unrealistic. And so I think that's a lot of things, not only toys, but these things that are presented to us that aren't real, that we're connecting with. You know, that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, Her, that's almost
Right.
like becoming reality.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
becoming reality. So you don't know, you become, I hate to say the R word, but socially retarded, because you don't know how to have a conversation with a human being, because you're conversating with a sex toy or a flashlight, or, you're just having a one-way interaction with porn, or these AI created beings on social media that you can pay to talk to. So it makes dating even harder. And also, you don't know what you're getting behind the DMs either. It's just a really tough
I was gonna say,
situation.
like, it's gonna be really hard for Jules when she starts like proper
Mhm.
dating, because like for
Yeah.
all these younger kids, like, for guys especially, they can't tell at like, yes, there's women where it's very outwardly obvious that they've had Botox or filler or like a boob job or something, but a lot of guys can't tell like the really subtle, like natural ones. Like, there's a lot of men that even can't tell when a BBL has been done. So like,
Mhm.
for them, they're already, all these young kids are getting so conditioned to already a fake type of woman. By the time like Jules starts proper dating, like, it's gonna
Yeah.
be hard for her. Like, that's really sad.
I think I'm
Mhm.
just going to have her live with me and be single for the rest of her life. I'll just keep her in my little bubble here. No, but it is true. Like, and she's really picky. And she's also like, what I love about her is she does not take any shit from anybody. Like, I think I said this on my Sunday stream. She went through a period of time where she wasn't really sure what she wanted to be or who she wanted to be. So there was a TikTok page of hers where she looked more masculine and kind of resembled a boy a little bit more. So this guy she was talking to brought it up to her and was kind of a dick about it, and she's like, see you next. She doesn't care. She doesn't. You want to ask her a stupid question like that or make her feel uncomfortable or question anything about her. I'm sorry, I don't know. This is Canoli's desk. He's got shit under here. I keep
You're
knocking
good.
over because I have to sit on pillows because I'm too short, and so I'm knocking shit around. But you also have to be very, very mindful of who you're talking to, because you don't know if you're like, I always tell my daughter, if you talk to anybody, you have to FaceTime them. You have to, because I am afraid of a perverted,
Mhm.
blue-haired twat waffle sitting in their mom's basement trying to catfish my kid.
We
It's
know a
scary.
blue-haired twat waffle. Hold on. Hold on.
Are you going to find that picture?
Don't start. Don't start.
But see, Lady Erin says that her daughter is 18 and refuses to date because of the way dating is these days. Yeah,
Social media.
it is.
Instagram.
Oh, you know what? Get
Snapchat.
Jules to date someone from an Amish community. There you go.
Mennonite even.
There you go.
I'm
He'll
not-
treat her right. None of this
no,
overstimulation. None of this
no, no,
act.
no,
Used to the
no.
real
And
stuff.
he'll have a beard. If he's Amish, beard.
So you guys,
And he'll be self-sufficient as well. He'll actually be able to take care of her.
obviously missed that whole show on TLC where the Mennonites and the Amish got fucking crazy and they left and went to New York
Yeah.
City and they
Well,
said,
yeah,
fuck my
they.
religion.
Oh hell yeah, they're
And
crazy.
they got buck wild and they all got knocked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Right.
the Amish are crazy, man.
Raising, yes, I remember watching that show. She can tell when someone's catfishing her. I hope so. But a nice Mormon boy, I don't know, man. I don't trust anybody anymore. They're just like, I don't know. And I need these moms out there to raise good boys. I need them to raise good boys, because if they follow in that, listen, they're all soy boys. You're right. They're all soy boys, and they don't know how to man up. They just don't. And that bothers me a lot, because I don't feel like there's men coming up in her generation. So
Yeah.
she might have to date somebody much older than her. I don't know, but it's not fun to be out there, Beardo, and I feel for you, buddy.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. This
See, she
yeah.
says they're all lame and immature.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of the soy milk. I blame it on the soy milk.
It is the soy milk, and that was deliberate too. It wasn't
Yeah.
just by accident. Plugging in the soy milk and trying to make the soy milk a movement or whatever. It was deliberate for
I was gonna
obvious
say,
reasons.
yeah, soy is in everything though. Like, they even put like the soy
Cheese.
lecithin in like all your sauces.
Yeah.
It's the fillers and in burgers and stuff. They did a study like 10 years ago too. Like, most mainstream beers now are like, all of the wheat is generally like GMO produced. So
Yes.
there's phytoestrogens that have left men with higher estrogen levels that cause the The moves.
Moves.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another reason not to be drinking alcohol if you're a dude, in all honesty. Just gonna fuck with you.
Well, even
Oh.
one of the rich guys, is it Bill Gates or one of those people? Didn't they buy a whole bunch of farmland and they're
Bill Gates
producing
did, yeah.
soy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Bill Gates did because he wants to put some sort of weird shit in all the vegetables.
Soy is in everything. I was actually, you know what? This is what blows me away whenever I go grocery shopping here in Canada versus in the US, because our food guidelines are slightly different. So
Yeah.
like I'll go and buy, like, say, shredded cheese to make lasagna, right?
Right,
The
right.
shredded cheese here will have, like, there'll be some like preservatives to keep it long, but like I'll see like partly skim milk, lactase enzyme, all that stuff. I'll get the same brand of cheese over in the US at the same, like it'll be the Costco brand, right? I'll go to
Right.
Costco, get the cheese, and there's like fucking potato starch. There's soy in there. There's sunflower oil. I'm like, bro, what are you guys like? It's like, even just like canned food. I try to avoid the canned food because of all the lining stuff. But like canned mushrooms over here is like water, salt, and then like some sodium something for a preservative. And then
Right.
on yours, it's like there's 12 fucking things I don't even know how to pronounce for
Yeah.
canned mushrooms.
Well, and then
Like-
you have over in England, they banned, like, they can't, nothing can have GMO in it. And
Yep.
yeah, I
That's
know.
awesome.
Why
Their food
why
is
can't-
fucking rad in England. I mean, like, it's bland. But if you go to a store and buy just the fresh stuff, like, everything is like top quality because they
Mhm.
don't let any of that stuff in their food. And it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why all y'all in America are so overweight. All these fucking additives that inflame your gut, they stimulate your hormones and all that shit.
Well, this is why
But
Platoon
let's
is so
not keep
smart.
yelling body positivity, okay?
Did
So
you guys see
trash.
the body positive cheerleaders that were trending on Twitter, by the way?
No,
There-
I missed
I can't-
that.
I can't remember what team it was, but like they had all the cheerleaders out, skin tight outfits, skin showing, and they were all just morbidly obese black women, and they couldn't do anything more than just kind of jiggle their fat because they were too overweight to even lift their legs. I have to try and find this. Hold on, it's disgusting.
Well, you know,
And
it
you're
was
a
funny
bigot
that
if you don't support it.
You know, it was funny, Beardo. You guys yesterday did the whole FatCon thing, and I had done that on Sunday as well. And you guys missed it. I wish I would have sent it to you, but she actually was in a music video talking about how fat is cool as well. That same girl with the curly hair. Because, you know, like she was just talking about how, you know, this is me and fuck Ozempic and I'm not going to do any of that. It was just. But the whole FatCon thing that you guys did yesterday, I did last week, and I was just, I don't understand. Oh, and then I was watching a video of Blair White was talking about all these heavier girls on social media that were
Yes,
talking
they're
about,
dead.
and they're dead.
They're
They're
dead.
dead.
They're
All the
dead. They're dead.
body
Yep.
people are dead now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, and it's not enough to be accepted. It's not enough for them to just accept it. We have to celebrate it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on
Yep.
you for being a fatty. Good on you. Oh, you get a free extra airplane seat because your
Yep.
ass hangs over onto the other seat. Good for
Yep.
like it's
Yep.
celebrated. It's
Yep.
not just like it's not just enough to just like, okay, you know, it's fine. It's fine. No,
shouldn't.
you
I didn't
should
want to
be
be
celebrated that you are obese.
Yeah.
That's how far that they've taken it. They're
Well,
not
and
just
instead
okay
of-
with they're not
instead
just
of,
okay with
like,
it.
Right. Here's my whole thing that I said too on Sunday is instead of talking about why we're having these weight issues and why we're at where we're at, we're glorifying it. Like, I was heavier. I've always had weight issues, from an eating disorder, like starving myself, to eating too much. I've been all over the place with my weight my entire life. And, you know, instead of figuring out why we're eating all this food, we're glorifying being a certain way instead of getting to the root of why we're like that, because we know we're eating for an unhealthy reason. I eat because I'm an emotional eater. I ate because my stepmom, when I was a kid, used to put a lock on the pantry door and didn't let us eat. So whenever I ate, it was like it was my last meal. So I had a fear of never having food. So we all have our issues as to why we eat. And so I feel like we should talk about it instead of having a fat con and glorifying why we're all overweight. It's almost like having a methamphetamine club. Like, oh, cocaine and meth, let's all get together and snort, coke and glorify
Which is
this.
what California is doing in San Francisco. They have
Exactly.
blocks. They have dedicated blocks in the city where you can safely do your drugs.
Canada does the same thing in many metropolitan areas, unfortunately. Yeah.
See? And that's just not fair. I'm tired of catering to the people that just want to be mentally ill and we glorify it instead of saying, hey, listen, you look like you have an issue. Maybe we could talk about it. Maybe we could get you some help. Instead, they're like, no, let's make a whole con over it and let's celebrate why you're hurting yourself. I would never want somebody to go, oh, you're overweight. Oh, it must be fantastic. You must be, I want somebody to talk to me and say, listen, and I've identified, I know I'm an emotional eater and I struggle every single day. Every single day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to eat better. I'm going to try to do this. I try to move my calories around. I'm intermittent fasting. I try to work out when I can. I struggle every single day. So I don't have sympathy for these people because they don't want to fix themselves. It's hard. You have to first admit that you have the problem. And then you have to work. I struggle daily. Every single fucking day. I struggle with what I'm going to eat. But
no pun intended, but survival of the fittest. If those people don't want to fix themselves and they want to die at 35, don't need that polluting up the human bloodline. Just saying.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. You can't save everybody, especially if you don't think that you have a problem. And it's fine. It is fine. You can do you. But when they tell us that we have to be acceptable of all of these things, that's where I have a problem. If you want to be a chick with a dick and this, that, and the other, that's fine. But leave me out of it. I'm tired of it being forced down my throat because one, it's not normal. There's so many people on TikTok right now that I go through the For You page because it's good content for my show. Of men just with beards and dresses, like you, Beardo, like a nice looking man who looks like a dude and just decides to throw eyeliner on, a wig, and a weird crop top, and they call themselves a chick. It's really weird. Sorry, private chat.
I send you the fat cheerleaders clip just to, I guess, accentuate our points even more. There you go.
Hang on, let me pull it up. Hold on.
It's WALL-E. You guys remember the movie WALL-E? And then in the future,
yeah, my daughter used to love it.
Yeah, they were all so fat that they couldn't even lean over to get their drinks. And they're hovering chairs and everything. Yeah,
my daughter watched that on repeat when she was younger. She loved that. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, bless their hearts.
Someone's going to need to. Yeah.
Somebody bless their knees.
Look, half of them said break time.
This halftime show brought to you by Burger King. Twerking, of course. Yeah, you gotta have the twerking. Oh, fuck!
Damn!
Okay, the ending didn't shock me. Go ahead.
Woo.
I would have liked to see the after, how they get up. They right? How easily you can get up.
I'm just like, but it's not even cheerleading, because usually when you see cheerleaders, they're doing like something sort of acrobatic.
They're tumbling, they're doing flips, they're throwing them up, they're catching them.
But this is just like a ladies' Sunday dance class kind of deal. Yeah.
You know what I just thought of? I just thought of, it's kind of random, but my mom was a flight attendant back when I was younger. And I remember you had to weigh in. You had to be a certain weight, a certain size, certain everything. I wonder if I haven't flown in forever. Do they still do that? Do they still have those requirements? I would be curious to know.
When I was a kid, they would, but right now it'll just be like, do you want extra accommodations kind of deal?
No. The flight attendants.
The actual workers.
The actual workers.
So this was before my time. But
Yep.
I've seen pictures and I've heard stories. Flight attendants used to be sexy.
Yes,
Like
my
that
mom
was
had
like
to
a
be a certain-
requirement. You had to be hot.
Yep. My mom had to be, she couldn't weigh over a certain, my mom is very vain anyway, so it worked out fine for her. But you had to be a certain weight. You had to have a certain waist size, like your uniforms had to be a certain thing. Everything had to be. Now, granted, this was probably at least 25, 30 years ago, but I wonder if they still, I don't know. I don't fly very much, so I don't really pay attention, but I wonder if they still have those standards, because I bet you they wouldn't be allowed to be that
I
discriminatory.
haven't seen a fat air attendant, to be fair. I've seen some that are maybe just a little more plump, but they're
Yeah.
still like relatively thin because they got to squeeze in all those places, right?
Yeah,
So-
it was an interesting thing, and I don't remember why they were like had to be, but you're right. It might have been pure eye candy. I don't know.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I do
for
remember
sure.
that. I do remember my mom having to be a certain weight, and she always had to do like a weigh-in. It was like
Well, it's
wrestling.
also kind of like because they have to make sure like the plane isn't over a certain capacity, otherwise it becomes a flight hazard, right? So I
Yes.
imagine that is more of a thing because if your flight attendants weigh a little bit less, maybe you can get some extra passengers on or something like that.
Like Beardo, when Jay told that story yesterday where he had to be sit in the middle of the plane because he was the big boy. Do you remember that story where he was, maybe you tapped out during them, but he was like, when he was flying to, I don't know, Haiti or Africa or something, he was on a little plane and he was the big boy on the flight. So they put him in the middle of the plane.
Well, I know that Jay, he's lost a lot of weight in the past couple of years. So that doesn't
I
necessarily
think it was years
surprise
ago,
me.
he said, when he
Yeah.
did that. But that was the same for Cannoli, man. He not only is he 6'5", but he was like, I'll never forget. He was so excited when he flew to Texas last year or the year before, where he didn't need a seatbelt extender. I don't know.
What
Listen,
irritates me about the whole thing is, okay, so first off, no, as far as the flight attendants,
yes,
I've never seen a fatty. I have seen some very feminine male flight attendants, very feminine, but no overweight flight attendants.
okay.
But what bugs me about the whole, because you watched High Tea this Thursday, or at least maybe a little bit of it.
I did.
Southwest did pass the thing where if you are a person of the food, you get a free seat. If you spill over into the other seat, that seat is free. Well, it's not free. You know who's paying for it is everybody fucking else on the fucking
because they
flight.
upped the prices probably to make sure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Not only that, you fly Southwest, bags fly free if they weigh under 50 pounds.
Oh.
If your bag is 51 pounds, you're paying more money for your luggage.
Right.
But fucking Fatty McGee that's flying on your flight, who is spilling over into the other seat, who gets a free seat, who's weighing 350 fucking pounds, and he gets a free seat, and he's paying the normal fucking, price for a plane ticket. He's not paying extra, but he weighs more, twice as much as my 51 pound luggage does that I'm getting overcharged for because my luggage weighs too much. But fucking Fatty McGee is dude, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make sense.
But the thing is, what does make sense is the fact that if you complain enough, and that girl who was doing the FatCon thing, if you complain enough and you make it a big enough issue, they don't want to make themselves look bad, so they'll just change the rule. And that's unfortunate that it's that way. That I don't know. It's not fair because we do have to pay for it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
but
it's not
I
free.
don't understand though, because there was I touched on this on my show on Sunday, and I was reading an article that even if the flight is full, they will still somehow accommodate you for the extra seat, which doesn't make sense because if the flight is full, there's not an extra seat. So I didn't understand that. And then also the article that I showed on my show, the girl that was so excited to have her own seat, she had an oxygen tank in the seat next to her.
Classic.
It was sad. It was sad. So I don't know. I just think that right now in this day and age that we have to be careful and we have to be sensitive to everybody's downfalls. And that's why everybody is so weak, because we're making exceptions for people who are having these crutches. We're giving these crutches to them and saying it's okay. And the thing is if I had to pay for 2 seats, I would probably want to do something about that, because I couldn't afford, I can't even afford 1 seat, let alone 2. It would make me maybe second guess some of my life choices, which, like I said, I've battled with my weight my entire life. So I feel like I can talk about it because I have constantly struggled. But I know that I would not want to pay for 2 seats. So I would, but it's unfortunate. That's the way it is, you guys. If you identify as something other than a female or a male, we have to be okay with it. So you're going to get 2 seats. What if I
open up the rabbit hole? It's like, where does it stop? Where do we
and
stop now?
It's not going to stop this year. I think we're going to see things get even worse. I think, unfortunately, we're just going to have to be so sensitive to everybody's feelings, and we can't call anybody out on their delusions. We have to make sure that we just are sensitive to everybody. So I don't know. I just think this year is going to be really, really interesting. And I hope it is, because it gives me good content. That's all I have to say.
Did you guys see those Echo cast interviews that were going around? And then the chick that plays Echo, she said what the guy asked, what were one of the challenges that you had in playing Echo? Because Echo's like Helen Keller basically or something. And she's like, having hearing privilege. I'm like, hearing privilege. That's so to be normal is now a privilege.
I don't think I pulled that. I only had the clip where she was.
I'll get it for you.
Okay, because I have the one where she said that she likes to make men uncomfortable. That was just a short one.
That's the Star Wars. That's the Star Wars.
Star Wars. I know. Well, we did have a whole lineup of stuff to talk about, but I liked the direction our show went instead, because it was very informative. And it's not, everybody's talking about the Star Wars stuff and how she wants to make men uncomfortable. And it's so cringy. I know, Beardo, you were not happy with, to me, I'm so sick of Star Wars. It's like, I'm done already. Let's just leave it alone. Let's leave it with who did Star Wars? Steven Spielberg?
George Lucas.
Steven
Spielberg. He was E.T.
I'm not even drunk. I'm just stupid. So
you're
enough
getting
already.
Merch ideas this stream, I'm not drunk yet, just retarded. That was one of them at the beginning.
Yes. No, and I'm still. Hang on, I got some clips here. No, I'm not drunk. I'm just retarded. Still. All right, hold on. Let's pull this up. 1 second. I like to move it over to my second out of 3 screens. It only has 3 screens over here. Like, he's tough.
My second.
My second screen I'm on. This is my first. I've got another one, and I've got another one over here.
Man, I'm rocking 4 monitors, and I'm investing in a 5th one.
Wow.
Damn.
What do you use 4 monitors for, out of curiosity?
He doesn't want to
Video
say.
games.
Yeah.
So I have my big monitor right here. Mm-hmm. This is for my PlayStation. Mm-hmm. When I'm playing PlayStation games. So this is what I have my PlayStation on. And then I have YouTube on this one. Mm-hmm. I have Kick on the 3rd one. Mm-hmm. And then on the 4th one is where I have my OBS, which is my streaming software that I use. So, and then if I'm just playing a computer game, I use this monitor as the computer game, this one for YouTube, this one for Kick, and then the 4th one for the OBS. So, yeah.
What would the 5th one be for then?
Just to have a 5th one.
Just to
be excessive.
You got 4. Might as well go to 5, right?
Yeah.
Like his body count, he wants to be consistent.
Yep. 5 or less. Let's keep it at 5 or less. You know what? Speaking of merch, I'm gonna make a new shirt with a 5 and then a less than sign on it.
Yes.
5 or less for my merch.
Let's do it. 5 or less with your symbol.
Five or
With
less.
exceptions for
absolutely.
butt stuff and mouth stuff, though. So
Right.
Butt stuff. All right, here's let me make sure this is up. Okay, here we go.
What did you guys learn about yourselves through playing Henry and Bonnie?
I think what I learned about myself portraying this was that I have a lot of hearing privilege, being somebody who walks around the
Oh,
world
fuck
as
off.
a hearing person.
What did
So she did that as she signed?
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, I'm offended because I wear hearing aids, so fuck right
There's
off.
a
How about
second
that?
clip as well that I
Gotcha,
put in
I'll
there
pull
from
it
that
up.
same interview. Yeah.
Oh my
I thought
God,
that
what
was
is-
wild. That's like saying I can taste food. I have tasting privilege.
Right. I need to ask Ego, do you think I have hearing privilege?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Sight
so-
privilege?
wait, I think this is the second one you sent. I hope it's not a repeat. Hold on. This is
I think it's from the
ridiculous.
same thread, but I just
It
figure
is, yeah.
sometimes. Well, you said you're retarded, so I figured I just said you too late.
I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I'm not even drunk. I'm fed.
I
I've
think
like.
so many people feel like this
Not
project
even slightly buzzed.
Was that the same one?
No, it's a different one.
boxes in some way, but it's a great story first and foremost that happens to center around an Indigenous Choctaw community and around a deaf Indigenous protagonist.
absolutely?
I think so.
A deaf Indigenous protagonist?
She contradicts herself in the same sentence, though. If you listen to it again.
Hold on.
So many people feel like this project might be checking boxes in some way, but it's a great story first and foremost that happens to center around an Indigenous Choctaw community and around a deaf Indigenous protagonist.
Check, check.
So she was coached up. She
Yep.
was coached before
Yep.
she went out there for this interview. She was coached up by whatever agent that is a part of Disney, whatever talking point. She was coached up. You got to say this if you're asked this question. This interviewer, like these people asked. So the actor and actress or whatever, they knew every question that they were going to be asked. There were no surprise questions. These were all layups. They knew exactly what they were going to be asked, and they were coached up on how to answer these questions. That's how these
Of
interviews are.
Don't they usually have like whenever they go, especially for these like filmed ones that are meant for the promotional reels, aren't the interviewers usually given like a checklist, like a pre-approved list of questions so
Right,
that they can
right.
make this kind of yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah.
There's no surprises. Like the interviewer and the actor or actress answering the questions.
Mm-hmm.
They know everything that's going to be asked beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I'm telling you that is why everything coming out this year. Just wait for all those boxes to be checked. Dune might be the only good one that's not.
Nosferatu, man. Nosferatu is
too.
going to be awesome.
That's right.
I just
forget
want to
about
know if Echo is also going to have a drinking problem. That's really my only
Hopefully.
thing that I'm looking forward to because you've got to
I think-
fully represent, right?
That would really round things out. I think that would make it really appropriate because if you're going to go in, you got to go in hard. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I completely agree
Exactly.
with you. I completely agree with you. Well, shit, I don't even know where to go from here because we've been going for over 2 hours and I usually only go 2 hours and I don't even know if we should get into any topics because we did such a good job on everything else. What do you think? Is there anything you wanted to
I'm
touch on?
sorry. Might be
No!
slightly my fault.
No. Never apologize. My shows are known for not staying on topic.
Okay.
It's kind of what I do every Sunday. I have a
I was
list of
gonna say,
topics.
we got to talk about like prolapsed anuses and women that got blow bangs and
Yeah.
you know,
No,
we
I
got into the nitty gritty. So
I am.
There you
I
go.
love when a stream does not go as planned. It's actually my absolute favorite thing to do because I like just having a conversation, and the fact that we just had a real, genuine conversation. We were all vulnerable. We all just kind of. I don't know. A lot of people in the chat said it was a really good time. So listen. The people are sick of hearing about the fucking Star Wars. People are sick of hearing about America Ferrara, and if you'll hear about it on Sunday if I do a Sunday stream. So I'll just save my Google Doc for Sunday. But you know, we could have talked about a lot of the stuff that everybody's talked about, but who's talking about body counts and prolapsed anuses?
Whatever podcast is.
Yeah.
That's true, but you don't have the Gorlak looking thing on there either.
You know
oh my
what?
God. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say my daughter was so she was babysitting the dog on New Year's Eve because she was having a shit fit with the fireworks. And I get home and my daughter's like, oh my God, you'll never guess. So she watches I Show Speed on YouTube, and him and his friend had to fly out a friend for each other as a joke. And Speed flew out the big fucking fat piece of shit from whatever podcast.
Yeah.
You know what? Hot fucking take. I don't think Gorlock's that bad. All right.
No, I follow.
It's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow her.
I didn't think she was that bad.
Him.
Him.
Yeah, I know it's a dude.
Gorlock is a man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
know
is.
it's a dude.
I
and
believe
know
his
that
name is Raymundo.
Yeah, Raymundo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like on the show that he was on, I don't know if he's been on 2, but the first one at least.
The first one he was good on.
Yeah, he was the most sane person on that panel.
Yes.
Yeah, he might be a little narcissistic and definitely overweight, but like I don't mind Gorlock. He's kind of, I'll have a drink with Gorlock. There you go.
Yeah,
Might be
you know what?
time.
I'd watched his stuff. It's fine. I just thought it was funny. But actually, my daughter said that the guy Aiden, that he was flown out for,
Aiden
they
Ross,
actually
yeah.
are really good friends. So
Mhm.
it was just funny that of all people, it was Gorlock. But
Gorlock.
you know what? No, I appreciate the way that this stream went tonight, and I appreciate Beardo you filling in last minute. And no, it was just a really good time. So let's go around and since we were talking about prolapsed anuses, let's give everybody a plug. Vex, what do you have? What do you have coming up? Hey, my segues. I might be retarded, but I could do a segue.
That was a really good segue. That's a plus segue. I don't
Thank
know
you.
what I've got coming up. I'm coming off vacation, so I'm doing a recording with someone tomorrow. I might be on a stream Sunday. I don't know. Just keep an eye out for my YouTube community page. I always put everything out there. But thank you.
She's usually on no streams or 17. That's true.
Thank you for a good time, ladies and Beardo. It's nice to be back.
Yes, I know. It was we skipped December, so it was nice to be back. Shiro, do you have anything coming up?
You know, I don't live in this space very often, so whenever Ego tells me we're going to do our ordinary games, which I think is next weekend on Sunday, we'll do that. Other than that, I just try to check you guys out and throw up a like, and then if you want something that is interesting for 3 hours straight, I have to tell you, this is my first time watching him, but that Shay Shay Club Cat Williams interview was fire. I was like,
I'm gonna watch that tonight. Actually, I gotta queue up.
And literally, usually I'm not. I get bored very easily on podcasts. 3 hours, I was just like, oh. So that's what I do.
Nice.
And Beardo, what do you have coming up? How many gaming streams are you going to do this weekend?
Man, I'm like 6 days in a row consistent with the gaming
I know.
stream. So honestly, I'll probably game tomorrow again, and yeah, whatever Geeks and Gamers is doing. Tuesday night's main event, high tea, gaming streams, and
Yeah, you guys are back now every Thursday, right? Because of the holidays
Yeah.
over, so you're back on Thursdays. High tea with him and Jay Drunk 3PO. It's a really good show. Just because you're a chick doesn't mean you need to watch it, because they're kind of like, they have the same takes we do. They dog on the chicks like we do, and we have the same viewpoint. So it's very similar. But I do enjoy
and we
it.
make fun of the low T dudes as well.
Yep,
low
they
T
do.
dudes, and these super, I don't know, androgynous females, and it's a fun show. And high tea, we actually, I think this month, if everything pans out well, I think this month we're gonna have Dean Cain, Superman, on high tea. So
nice.
High tea's Dean Cain's gonna be on high tea. We have some cool people lined up for high tea. Man, big things for 2024. So
nice.
But anyways. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. You guys are doing good things over there. It's always I always I'm at work on Thursday, so I always have the entire high tea show on, and it's always very entertaining. It never gets boring. So I appreciate that. That's like the one stream that I know I can watch during work that keeps me entertained for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's see. So what am I doing? Today's Friday. So let's see. Tomorrow I'm going to watch Zodiac because I can't believe as a serial killer lover as myself, I've never seen the movie Zodiac because I'm going. I know.
So fucking good.
I know. Hot take.
So good.
Well, then you need to watch Monday, Beardo, since you have a wrench. I'm going to be on Monday's episode of MMM. We're reviewing Zodiac.
Okay. All right.
So
I just want to point out that was my choice for a movie.
Zodiac's
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you.
Zodiac's so
Yeah.
good.
No, I and here's the thing. I really tried to get through the book, but I have not been able since I started YouTube. I haven't been able to audiobook like I want to, and I don't have the time to sit down with the physical book. It's killing me because I used to do an audiobook a week. I didn't have a chance to get through it. I will try to read it anyway, like after the movie. So I'll be doing that on Monday. I'll be on MMM on Cannoli's channel. Sunday, of course, you can catch me right here at 11 Pacific Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Right? Is that right?
Yeah, you're good.
For a Mrs. Sassy Sunday stream, I'll just be hanging out talking about everything on the Google Doc that I didn't get to tonight. And on pink. Let me start again. On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
All right.
I will be reviewing
anything in the
Mean
stink
Girls.
at all?
Pink and the stink.
As long as it's under 5.
Under 5. Yes. So Wednesday, my daughter and I are going to an early screening of Mean Girls, and I'm going to do a review on my channel of Mean Girls. I try to do reviews that I think fit like my channel and what I talk about. So I'm going to try to do that. Cannoli and I might get divorced next weekend because the Wonka review almost killed it for us because he does some of my editing, and he's very autistic about the editing.
Hold on. Cannoli does some of your editing.
He's because he spent 3 hours on his day off one day with the uninspired reviewer getting lessons.
Hold on. Cannoli, who can't edit to save his fucking life, edits your videos sometimes?
Mm-hmm. He edited the Wonka one. There were some mistakes that we caught afterwards that I even caught. But yes, he did a 3-hour tour. 3-hour tour. What the fuck is wrong with me?
3-hour tour.
He did like a 3-hour session because he has to get his 1-minute trailers he does before MMM just right.
I remember because I was messaging Uninspired. I'm like, dude, have you seen this movie yet? And he's like, hold up, I'm explaining editing to Cannoli. I'm like, oh, you're good, bro. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about Prisoners?
Oh,
Prisoners.
that's such a good movie as
Sassy.
well.
Sassy Sasquatch. Prisoners.
Haven't seen it.
Cannoli.
It's with Jake
I'm sure-
Gyllenhaal.
It's with
Yes,
Gyllenhaal.
he's seen
It's
it.
with
I'm sure he
Gyllenhaal
has.
and Hugh Jackman.
I love Hugh Jackman. I know. Yes, Cannoli has mentioned it. I have not seen it yet. I will have to see it.
I'm pretty sure
It might be
Prisoners is on
better.
Netflix
It might
right
be
now.
better than Zodiac.
Ooh, hot take.
On par with Zodiac.
The might. It might be better than Zodiac, but Prisoners is fucking good.
There's a lot of stuff I have to catch up on, but I definitely will. I'm going to watch Zodiac tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to do Prisoners. I know he's been mentioning that one too, so I will try.
Shutter Island?
But yes, I have seen that, but a long time ago. I'd have to see it again.
Definitely.
So yeah, I guess just find us all on the Twitter. I forgot to put Beardo's link in the description because I suck.
Good.
But Fear the Beardo, he's everywhere. That's where he's at on Twitter, on YouTube, on the dating sites. Just look for the beard.
Anymore.
I don't blame you. All right. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you all. I'm trying to figure out how to end the show. Hold on a second. For God's sakes. God's sakes alive. Where's
Ladies
my
and gentlemen, you have been watching the female perspective on Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch YouTube channel. Tune in next week on Friday.
No, we only do it once a month.
Once a month. Tune in next month for The Female Perspective.
See you guys later.